Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
Yo, shalom, 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 family. Shalom and blessings to your brothers from Salt of the Earth back at you again. How everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well today. Hope everybody's doing great. Shalom, brother Eric. How's it going?
Shalom, everybody. Shalom, brother Bunya, brother Cleo. Shalom and blessings to everybody in the chat. Hope y'all doing well. Good to see everybody.
Indeed, indeed. I wanted to jump right into it, man. Usually we played a little intro, but I wanted to jump right into it because, you know, the title of this show is The 400-Year Prophecy, and it's a critique on the brother Seed of Israel's work that he had put out some time ago. Now, just to give you a little background story on that, you know, and we're going to share some of the screenshots of some conversations that went on. But to give you a little backdrop on that story right there, when we first came out with the 400-year prophecy, there was a lot of opposition, you know, and what we're doing right now is we're just making the rounds and we're critiquing videos and showing our brothers and sisters on here that may have not been previews to those conversations in those situations, you know, as it pertains to the 400-year prophecy. Now, the brother from Seed of Israel, his situation was kind of interesting because, you know, through him, I believe this is how me and the brother Eric ended up connecting. Would I be correct in that, brother? Somewhat, it was somewhat of a catalyst.
Yeah, somewhat, right.
So there was a lot of people that was really just urging the brother to review some of the information that we had put out and to you know, backtrack and look at some of the information and just, you know, keep in mind that he could be incorrect in some of the things that he was saying, you know. But we gave that brother ample time to do that. I've had conversations with him. Some of the conversations were a little bit more heated than they needed to be at the time, you know. But nevertheless, we stepped back from that situation and we took the position that we had always been taking, you know, not to debate, not to argue with brothers and sisters, you know, over mediocre type of deals, you know. But like I said before, you know, we're called to prove all things. We're called to cry loud, spare not, show our people their sins, in the house of Israel their transgressions, right? So a big part of us walking in this truth is sharing our truth and being ready to reprove each other if you're in the wrong direction or you're going the wrong direction, you know. So we decided to do a critique on this video because it was due time and it was about time we brought this up, and that we gave you brothers the opportunity, brothers and sisters, the opportunity to, you know, take a look at some of the things that this brother was saying, and we're going to critique it along the way. Do you have anything to add on to that, brother?
Yeah, just to give a brief background on my encounter with the brother, I reached out to him through a video that he did maybe about a couple of years ago. And it was a challenge video on the 400-year prophecy. And as Brother Bunya mentioned, his position was in opposition to the position that we take. So I reached out to him through his chat. He gave me his email. We ended up talking or whatever on the phone. And during the conversation, I didn't really get to vet him. You know, he asked me a few questions and we brought out a few things, but I didn't really get to challenge him and vet him like I was expecting to. And so the conversation ended with, I guess, an agree to disagree. You know, that's what a lot of people like to do. So he did another video, the video that we're getting ready to critique now. And I commented in the comments section of the video, and we're going to take a chance, get a good look at that. before we get into the video. But that's pretty much where we are, you know. After the first time me and the brother had a discussion is when I reached out to Brother Bunya. And that's when we connected from there and started working together from there. But we hadn't really reached out to the brother since, because the last discussion we had, it didn't really end well. My whole thing is just vetting the information. It's not about dealing with anybody's character or attacking anybody, but YouTube is a platform that's open for anybody's work to be critiqued, just like we put up the fair use. You know, just for that purpose is to critique people's information and for ours to be done the same way. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to deal with the video, let some of the talking points come out, and then we're going to deal with the points as we move along. And I want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight.
Absolutely. You know, thinking back also, me and the brother Cleo had already did the 400-year prophecy video maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It was just a sit down lesson, and then I revised that lesson and I did a video. Now, when Step Brother put out that challenge, I actually redid the video and called it Truth versus Scoffers. Now, the Truth versus Scoffers, the reason why I named it that was, you know, simply to go against those who were scoffing, but also I decided to put even more information in there, because at first I was going to just answer some of the challenges that he had put forth. But then I decided, you know what, there's more than just him out there. So let me see if I can go ahead and kill 2 or 3, 4 or 5 birds with one stone, right? And that's why the Truth versus Scoffers has so much information packed in it. And you know, to the credit of brothers and sisters that were going against it, I wouldn't even put that much information in it had it not been so many scoffers and so many people that was misinformed about the information, you know. But the whole thing that really set me back and or really had me taken back was the way the brother really just kind of disregarded that whole video and really didn't really he has somewhat of a pompous attitude about the whole situation. But you know, but let me greet the other brothers in here, man, just in case they didn't get a chance to hear me. But shalom and blessings, brother Hal. Shalom and blessings, brother Cleo, and shalom and blessings, brother Yaakov. Hope everybody's doing well, man. Go ahead and greet the family.
Shalom, brothers. Sorry I'm late.
Oh no, it's you're not
Shalom,
late.
Brother
You
Hal,
just
Brother
started.
Yash.
Hey, brother E. Hey, brother Cleo.
Hey, shalom, brothers. How you all doing?
What's going on, Brother
What's
Cleo?
going on, brothers? Hope you guys are well. Hope everybody's blessed.
Yeah, it's good to just see everybody up in here tonight.
Absolutely.
Back. I've been having computer problems.
You know what I found out though, just from the conversations with you, brother Eric, is that if you just let the simplicity of that teaching go, you don't even have to go all deep into it. You know, you don't have to go into the specifics on different matters. If you just let the teaching sit and you allow it to marinate and you think, you know. But being dismissive about the information, you know, it's not really a good look for brothers who are claiming to be teachers, and you know, they're just, you know, turning around and say, oh yeah, he said that, I don't want to hear nothing else, you know. And that's what I found really, it's really, it had me taken back, you know.
Right.
But before we even get into this, let's greet the brothers and sisters in there. I should have did that first, but you know, first and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. I thank him for allowing me to have another day on this earth, and also, you know, a great Shabbat and a great Passover. It was awesome. I got some good wine out of it, some awesome lamb, some unleavened bread that I'll be eating throughout the week, and some bitter herbs. But more importantly, I got a chance to sit back and really consider the deliverance that our forefathers witnessed, when the Most High delivered them out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and stretched out arms. And I look forward to the Most High doing the same thing for us, and as we're in this place, man, we'll be waiting for that same deliverance together, until the Most High come, because those who wait on him will not be ashamed. So don't be afraid to wait on him, Israel. Have patience. The Most High is in action. He's always in mode of showing and proving. So, just have patience, brothers and sisters. The Most High going to deliver you. But let's go down the line and greet our dear brothers and sisters. Kenneth Wilkinson, peace and blessings. I'm glad you was able to make it. Nadia Yas Light, shalom and blessings, sister. Optimum Training. It's always great to see you in here. Donovan Ben Judah. Yay, yay. Shalom, brother. That's right. It's gonna be bomb. It's gonna be fire. Darnell Blackshare. Shalom and blessed family. Mr. Theo, Mr. The Original School. Shalom and blessings, family. I'm not familiar with, but shalom and blessings. Shalom and blessings, sister Shebru Yah. Shalom and blessings. Glad to have you here. Devorah Cotton, shalom and blessings, family. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you was able to make it over. Shiloh, peace and blessings, family. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High that you was able to make it. Mr. Zion, Jerusalem. Shalom and blessings, family. Sarita Hebrew, shalom and blessings, family. I'm glad you made it. Teresa Hall, how you doing, sister? I'm glad you was here. Shalom and blessings. Albany, Georgia, shalom and blessings, my dear Israelite. Jabroni, family. It's always great to see you in here. Shalom and blessings. Amniya Yakaida. See, I got to get these Hebrew names right, family. My tongue be, my tongue be smitten with stutters, but shalom and blessings, family. Sarah Yahu Bat Yashriya. Shalom and blessings, family. Lion Warrior. That's right. Yeah, that's right. We all lions in here. That's right. Of course, the brother Yasha D. We ain't got to say nothing. This brother right up in here. Seeking the Most High Yah. That's right. Seeking the Most High. Shalom and blessings. Eric Tinsley. Always great to see you also in here, brother. Hope to work more closely with you in the future. Jamal McBride. Shalom and blessings. Carl John. Peace and blessings, family. Cool J. How's it going, family? Rio Morgan. Shalom and blessings. Once again, welcome, brother. Cindy Clark. Always glad to have you here, sister. Ty C. Rowland. Hadn't seen you in a while, brother. I'm glad you're here. Joy. I hope everything's over there good in the Philippines, by the way. Joy. Shalom and blessings, Joy 31608. I'll just call you Joy, though, sister. Shalom and blessings. Who we got else? Called the Truth. Always great to see my sister Called the Truth in here. Shalom and blessings. Got the brother How. We got the sister Sheila. Shalom and blessings. Yah A Quab. 12 Yehuda. Shalom and blessings. 12 tribe Judah. Shalom and blessings, family. Ruach in HaMashiach. Shalom and blessings. That's right. The spirit is in HaMashiach. Let the spirit dwell in you also. Nadia Ben Yaziel. Shalom and blessings, family. How you doing, sister? Darren Newell. Shalom and blessings. I'm glad you made it. And with that, that'll be everybody. Now, how do we want to start this? Let's start this like this. Now, we gave the understanding on how we actually, Bayah, shalom and blessings, family. Now, we briefly discussed, how our interactions went with this brother. So what I want to do is I want to allow the brother Eric first to go ahead and pull up some of his conversations that he had with the brother concerning, some of the interactions or some of the, the comments that the brother made.
Okay, you want me to share my screen because it's in that same comment section, I believe.
Absolutely. Share your screen because I was trying to find yours, but I had difficulty finding yours.
Okay, let me pull it up 1 second and let's keep them warmed up. But
Big Red, shalom, brother, and the brother Divine C. Glad to see you here. But continue, brother.
I was just gonna say, let me see. I'm looking for it here. I'm gonna pull up the chat section of the video that we're actually gonna be breaking down. My fault, man. I don't have it pulled up, but give me a second. Here we go.
All right.
Okay.
I tell you what I can do though, also, brother. While you searching for yours, I can go into a couple of things. All right.
Go ahead. I got it. I found it though. Go ahead.
Oh, you found it? Go ahead then. Go for it. Here we go.
All right. This is the video. It's entitled "That Nation, the Fourth Generation." Now, keep in mind, this is during a time when certain points and certain aspects had already been dealt with, particularly when you read from 12 and 13, 14. Those passages had already been established in terms of the time frame, the 400 years, and how it doesn't fit in ancient Egypt. So a lot of people were resorting to 16 as a means to disprove it. And so this whole video is pretty much based on that. But I'm going to go down to the comment section. And if you can see here, how well can you see that?
Let's see. I'm on a computer screen, but what I wanted when we can you guys see it well?
Yeah, I can see it pretty well.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Put
Yeah,
a
I
one
see.
up in the chat if you can see it pretty well. Let's make sure any of the family that might be on phones, let's make sure they can see it too. Put a one up in the chat if you can see it, and that you can see it clearly.
I want to make sure everybody can see this well. Now, this is after
All right, great.
the brother and I had already had our discussion the first time.
Hold on, before we even start this up, do that fair use, bro.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You did tell me that too, didn't you?
Yeah.
I apologize, y'all. This is become
My Zion says
customary.
it's a bit blurry.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, but if you're getting any blurriness, let us know. If I don't know what device you're watching it from, but if you're getting a little blurry, it could be your device. If everybody else is just showing up clear, so you might want to check that out. Make sure that everything is copacetic on your end, right?
All right, I got the fair.
Yeah, you know what, Big Red, man? There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and people stay with the foolery. Absolutely, this is not the time for us to be. Your phone's a little janky, huh? Don't worry about it. You ain't the only one. That's why anytime I go on, you seen the way it went the last time I was on live with the brothers. I tried to go on the phone. I kept going out. I get a sentence in and then I drop. So don't feel bad. You ain't the only one.
Hey, brother Eric, I got it. I could read it off, but if you want to read it and put it on the screen, you should probably pull it up. Your call.
There it is right here.
Oh, there you go. All right.
You want to read it, Brother Hal?
I can read it, yeah. Fair Use Act disclaimer. This site is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute, by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
All right. So now pull back up your screenshot with your conversation, brother, so we can get that going.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna pull that back up. All right, so hold on. Everybody can see that pretty well, huh?
Yeah, we had one person that was a little blurry, but it's really more so their phone.
Okay. So y'all can see I'm right here. This is a year ago. All right, and this is well after the encounter that we had the first time. The first discussion we had was kind of vague, didn't really touch on anything. You know, I didn't really vet him like I wanted to, but the discussion ended with an agreement to disagree. So him and another brother did this video, and I responded, brother, I still see that you are tied up in your delusion. You and I had a personal discussion once where all of your points were cast down and proven wrong through scripture. Can I come on one of your streams? And so the first discussion we had, like I said, it was kind of vague. He threw some things out there, but I sort of threw some scriptures out there, and it was sort of hit and miss. He kept changing the discussion, kept changing the dynamic. Nothing was really addressed. And so his reply was, delusion, you prove nothing. Can you prove we are the fourth generation using scripture only? And so he said, I see I hit a nerve and you can't accept the facts, but you will not come on my stream just so you can spread your wickedness. Now he asked me if I can prove we are the fourth generation using scripture only. So my reply was simply, yes, I can, sir. I will gladly do it on a live stream. Now, this is the brother he did the video with. His response was, your spirit is wrong since you have the brother's personal number. Why would you try to attack him, divulging a personal conversation in the open? That's wicked. Then he posted scripture, right? Open rebuke is better than secret love, right? I already reached out to this brother via phone. So his reply was, Eric, if you're so eagerly to come on another man's page just to get your agenda out, then you could easily make a video on your own page. There is nothing for you to prove here. The word is clear. You are being wicked by the way you're coming. Lets me know that you are clearly blinded by evil spirits. If you are burning and itching to get your agenda out in the open, then go make a video on your own page. Now, if you want to call me, since you have my number, then fine. But the way you came just now proves how wicked you really are. That was low, and I didn't appreciate that. And when you call me brother to brother, I'm going to teach the proper way to come at a brother. Shalom. And so guess what I did after this? I called the brother up. And so we had another discussion. And I told him that the first discussion we had wasn't really a real discussion. You know, I didn't really get a chance to vet you. You threw some things out there that I rebutted with the scripture, right? But he doesn't acknowledge that. So we set up another discussion after that. It was, I think he set it up for maybe like a week or two after that point. We set the date. On the day of the discussion that we were supposed to have the discussion, I text him early in the day, and I text him later in the day to see if he still wanted to have the discussion and what time he wanted to set it up. And he basically reneged on the discussion, saying he already beat that dead horse. He's not going to go down that road. My response to that was, okay, fine, but just know that you're not qualified to deal with this subject, and I won't reach out to you anymore. And I haven't reached out to him anymore since. This is the first time that we're resurfacing this, and it's for the purpose of edifying our people and giving our people hope. There are a lot of people who listen to our platform, who listen to brothers like this. There are a lot of people who are in between positions that listen to us and they're not coming out. And so for that purpose, we're going to call everybody out who's in opposition to the positions that we take on the scripture. And this is just the nature of how things are and how things were, even with our forefathers, even the apostles. We're simply contending for the truth and contending for the faith.
Absolutely.
So that's the backdrop on that.
All right. Does anybody else have any comments on that? Anything to add, brothers? Nothing? Okay. All right, so here we go. Let me
Was it something I said?
Well, I do have a question, Eric. When you guys had your back and forth, was his only sticking point the fourth generation?
Not at first, no. That's what I'm saying. He's bringing this up. This video here is sort of after the fact, after all of y'all work was put out, after I had already addressed him with a couple of questions and done a couple of videos myself. Not saying that he's following us or anything, but it's ironic how after we dealt with mostly the Genesis chapter 15, verses 12 through 14, how we broke that down, now everybody's running to the fourth generation.
Mm-hmm. You know what else though? Hey yo, the brother Big Red says, hey yo, when Cash quick to say you have evil spirit, shake him head. That's the Christian ad hominem. Absolutely, it's definitely a way to really just be dismissive. And you know, another one they use is stop being emotional. You know, listen, there's no robots in this game, right? Brothers can be passionate about certain issues, you know, especially if it affects your people in a certain way. Then it's normal to be passionate about a certain issue. But also, I wanted to say the brother Eric, when he had that conversation with the brother Seed of Israel, one of the first things he tried to vet you on was that if you knew us or not, huh?
Yeah, that was the first discussion we had. That was one of the questions he had. It was sort of like he was, I don't know if he felt like he was interviewing me or something like that, but I had to try to change the tone. But that was one of the questions he asked me. Was I affiliated with the Salt of the Earth? And at the time I wasn't. So I told him no, but I was aware. I did tell him that I was aware of your brother's work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he had been running from Salt of the Earth for a while after that. After he put out that first challenge, you know, and we answered that challenge with a plethora of information. So then after that, you know, when the brother Eric came up to him and he's hitting him with these questions, you know, he wanted to know if he was with Salt of the Earth. So there again, it's just an unwillingness to really come to terms with the fact that you could be incorrect. Now, all things aside, man, brothers' pride should never stand in the way of them receiving edification and truth, man. Especially when you got a large platform and people learning underneath you. You're responsible for the people that's listening to you. So it's not just you that you got to worry about. You got to worry about your reputation with other people. Now, I don't know who listens to us. You know, I know we get it. We got a certain amount of people that we're familiar with, but I don't know the full scale of how many people listen to us. So, you know, if somebody gets some information and then they bring it before you, and you find that you could have been wrong, the best thing to do is be like, you know what? Let us check into that. Let us look into that, and let us if we find something that needs to be recanted, then we'll put out that information. And that's how things should be. Especially in the environment of being the Israelite, and we're always under attack about how we go about proving things. So we need to be taking that type of stance when it comes to information. But let me move forward here. Hey, could you take down your share screen, or you want to keep it up? Now, unless you want to share something else. So I want to show a couple of things too here. I want to show a couple of screenshots of conversations that I witnessed where the brother just didn't have any answers. All right. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And me and him, we had a little back and forth too, but I couldn't find the actual conversation that we had. But so the brother Arthur Edward, right? This whole fourth generation video that he did, this brother right here destroyed the fourth generation question that he did, and it left this brother with a response of, I don't know. Right?
Can you enhance that?
Indeed. All right. Let's see. How's that?
That's better. You can make it. Can you slide it over? Yeah, that's better.
How's that?
Mm-hmm.
And let me do something else here. Let me full screen this real quick. Let me get this on the full screen. Oh, it's already on the full screen. All right, great. Now, so this is how the conversation went. He said, it was the fourth generation that went in Egypt according to the scripture. If Judah and his brothers are the fourth generation, so what number generation came out of Egypt? Since from the time they went to the time they came out was 430 years. How many generations is that? So therefore, Genesis 15 and 16 isn't applying to those that came out of Egypt. That's logical understanding right there. Secondly, the scripture says they should be afflicted for 400 years. One can be afflicted and not be a slave. Some parents have been known to afflict their own children's minds. And then he says minds did. Husbands have been known to afflict their wives. We also know that Judah and his brethren wasn't afflicted for 400 years. The affliction came after the death of Joseph and the Pharaoh, and that Pharaoh, which one died first, because as long as one of them was alive, our people was protected. It was after their death. Next, how many is a generation? 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. How many? That's the question. You didn't answer in your video. I listened to many of your teachings, Seed of Israel, and loved them, but this one left me with a lot of questions. I'm not stuck on the America 400 either. So he's saying it's not even that I'm stuck on that, right? So he goes on and he said, remember in Genesis 15 and 16, it says they would see it again in the fourth generation. Abraham's seed, Judah and his brethren, were the fourth generation and that went into Egypt. Also, keep in mind there were people mixed up is Genesis 15 and 13, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed should be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and should serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, hold on, because I didn't actually enhance that right there. But let me go on to the next one, because we'll be able to see that afterwards. Okay. So he goes on and he says, I love everything you are saying. Hold on. He said, I love everything you are saying And I agree, but according to scripture in Genesis 15 and 13, the Most High said that the fourth generation would return hither. So the fourth generation didn't return hither because the fourth generation went in, and it was the seventh or eighth generation that returned hither. So when was that prophecy fulfilled that he gave Abraham? Maybe the way we count generations isn't the way y'all count generations. With all that being said, your video that you taught on is 100% right. I mean, no disrespect. I honestly think you are a great teacher with a humble and kind spirit. That's my impression of you. Remember, the fourth generation went in Egypt and died in Egypt. None of the fourth generation returned hither, as the prophecy says in Genesis. Now, after that, this was his response. This was his response after that. All right, so no, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Gotta
You
go
had
back.
it up. Go back.
Yeah.
At the bottom there.
At the bottom there. All right. All right. So he says, brother, I really don't know what else. I really don't know how else to put it to you. We brought it out in the video easiest way we could. Not everyone, not saying you, but not everyone will get it. Sometimes Yah will not allow certain people to see it because he has given them over to a reprobate mind, right? So he's saying not everybody, but he's saying people are not going to see it because they got a reprobate mind. See, that's another tactic right there. Whenever somebody don't understand what you're saying, they're reprobate. There's something wrong with them. They wicked. They're reprobate. They're being emotional. Is always one of those. It's never you could be wrong, right? It says, and then he says, I will never do another video on this subject again because at this point there is no need to. Right. So that's his thought on. There's no need to do another video on this. Right now, somebody brings the same point about the fourth generation. Right. And again, he's not able to answer this, brother. B Park 707. He says, the fourth generation by the brother statement would be the patriarchs, Yehuda and his brothers. So how would Israel, let me enhance that. She says, so how would Israel, their fathers, be explained? He also dwelt in Egypt until his death, then buried in the land of Canaan. He would have been the third generation. He lived in Goshen for many years. I believe about 25 years, I think. So that would be the third and fourth generation who dwelt in Egypt. I don't get it. And then he comes back and he says, but remember Genesis 15 and 16, it says they would see it again in the fourth generation. And then he goes on to say, I don't have it on here, but he actually goes on to say that was like the eighth and ninth generation. Now, I showed those conversations not to show you that he was incorrect, but to show you that there was questions being posed even within this live stream and on his comment board that he refused to answer and that he refused to acknowledge that he could be wrong. It was either you was a reprobate, you was wicked, or or you was emotional, or I don't know how else to put it. If you don't know, then why are you doing videos on it, right? And that's why we always maintain that if you are going to do a video on the 400-year prophecy, don't try to ask us anything. The burden of proof is on you because you said it's not fulfilled. So, or you said it is fulfilled. So if you said it's fulfilled, then you got to show where it was fulfilled. But often what happens is people are they're so focused on trying to prove that you are wrong in order to save their doctrine, they don't even realize that they've cut themselves with a lot of the things that they're saying. All right. Now, before I go on to the video, or did you want to play the video, Brother Eric?
No, you got it. You can pull it up on yours.
All right. So did anybody else want to say anything before we go into the video and actually start critiquing it?
I just want to say, man, I've heard him a few times. I think I even commented on his stuff, or before I did, I might have read some of them comments. I think it was that one that you put up there with that brother. I think I was gonna say the same thing, but that brother put it up there. But all I can say is he's a hope killer. I used to listen to him for a while, but he's a hope killer. And when you do comment, if he don't accept it, he just go ahead and put negative stuff out rather than just like it's proven, rather than just go back and study. He's stubborn. And anybody who does that, attack you like that, they have that same Christian spirit. That's what it is. It's a Christian spirit that will fight and defend its lie to the truth, rather than stop and research itself and correct its wrong.
Hey, put that comment up, Yahudim Aharon. No, it's another one.
It's before that one.
Yeah,
The
that
last
one.
Oh, there you go.
He say vocab took a severe L. If you got a link to that, put that in the chat for us, my bro. I'll check that out in my free time.
Yeah, definitely. Like, hey, Brother Barney, when you sent me the video, I realized who this brother is real quick, just a little while back, not too long ago. He put out a video that was showing how quote unquote stupid Black people are. It wasn't so bad. I mean, that sounds bad within itself, but the video was a cartoon that compared us to monkeys. And so all I did, I understood what he was trying to say by posting that cartoon up there, but I did write in the comments that, hey, I agree with what you're saying. I'm paraphrasing here, but, I'm not so sure about comparing quote unquote Black people to monkeys. I don't know that that's a way that you want to teach. My brother came back with a comment pretty much saying, so now you're gonna leave. Now you're gonna leave the faith of Yah because somebody insulted you with a video. So I was like, whoever said I'm leaving the faith because of a YouTube channel? Dude, I was like, dude, what are you talking about? So yeah, that just brought that back for me. I'll try to, see if I can find it and pull that up while you guys are playing the video.
Yeah, I've dealt with people like that before who they're not very receptive in hearing what you're saying to them. They kind of hear what they want to hear out of what you said, and
Exactly.
they'll formulate their own, understanding on based off of what you said instead of really asking you to clarify to make sure that you're not saying what they think you said. Especially when it comes to situations where it could be offensive. I like to really go back and ask someone, could you clarify that? Or, if I just don't understand or it's a possibility that I misunderstood, I always ask people to clarify what they're saying. Because if you don't, you're somewhat falling in the realm of a man answering before he heareth the matter. And the scriptures say that that's foolery.
Yeah.
He that answereth before you hear the full matter. It's foolery. But let's move on to this video. Let's get this critique going. All right. Now, warning. You guys are gonna hear some things that sound way off. I want to remind you, this is the reason why little kids shouldn't play with sharp knives, right? Because you can cut yourself, all right? So only those who are skilled with the sword should be handling the sword. And in some instances, people cut themselves. But let's go on to this video. Add to the stream. Let's get it going. And at any time when you brothers want to, let me know and I'll stop so we can speak on a certain matter. All right.
I don't think you're sharing the sound.
Hold on. Let's redo this. I wasn't sharing the sound. All right. Get that sound going in there. Thought I was sharing the sound, but I guess not. All right. Let me know you can hear it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, but
All right. Move a little
Man, just heard
forward.
about all these lynchings and craziness going on too, man. This stuff is just getting
I
out of
think,
hand, man. Any more than we already have.
So what we're going to do, because we promised that we were going to do this in June, and so we're going to talk about, we titled it That Nation, the Fourth Generation. So one thing I want y'all to understand is that we're not here to judge anyone. We're not here to cast any stones at anyone. We know that we're living in the beginning of the end. We know that times are getting worse and worse. But the only thing we're going to do tonight is show you that Genesis chapter 15, 12, verse 12 through 16 is indeed not talking about America. So we're going to look at every verse. We're going to read it through straight first, and then we're going to come back and we're going to examine each verse because we got to test it against the scriptures. Because in order for this to apply to America, then everything else has to match it. So we're going to explain what's been going on and everything and why people are getting confused because they're taking one prophecy and they're taking the 400 years and then they're taking the 430 years, separating the two when it's actually one and the same. We're going to prove that from the scriptures. But again, we're not here. We're all learners in this time, Zion. So, don't get offended if you
Hold up, run that back a little
acting
bit.
crazy, acting wicked on a.
So run that back.
Yeah, because what did he say we're doing?
He said 400 equals 430. That's what he said.
Yeah, and that's one thing he said. He said that those are all counted as one.
But he said that we're separating the two.
Yeah, that we're separating the 430 and the 400. Yeah, we are separating the two. They're supposed to be separated. There's no indication that it's sojourning equals 400 years of affliction.
Right.
You have the sojourn. That's like, okay, if I stay in somebody's house for 30 years and they treat me bad for 10 of the years that I was there, what were they afflicting or treating me bad for 30 years?
No,
they were treating me bad for 10 years. So all the sojourning is speaking about is the total amount of time that they were dwelling in Egypt, which we know also those who are in the know understand that the Septuagint says that time was split from Canaan and Egypt, right? But let's continue. Let's see if we can get that again.
For this to apply to America, then everything else has to match it. So we're going to explain what's been going on and everything and why people are getting confused because they're taking one prophecy and they're taking the 400 years and then they're taking the 430 years, separating the two when it's actually one and the same. We're going to prove that from the scriptures. But again, we're not here. We're all learners in this time, Zion. So, don't get offended if some of you come on here acting crazy, acting wicked on the comment section. We're gonna have to delete you. So brother, you want to go ahead and start off? Just read it through straight. Genesis 15, verses 12 all the way through 16.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause it for 1 second. Sorry about that. I need to pause it for 1 second. I seen something that needs to be fixed real quick. All right. There we go. Now let's get back to it. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Still not there. Hold on. Yeah, okay, there we go.
Sure, brother, not a problem.
Ready.
All right. The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verses 12 through 16. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and shalt be buried in good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
All right, appreciate that, brother. So I want to ask a question, y'all. Now, we're not going to answer this just yet because we're going to go back up, but I want to see what your answer is. So now, brother just read that verse, verse 16. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So here's the thing I'm about to ask you. So in order for this prophecy to apply to America, then that would mean that we would have to be the fourth generation. Now, correct me, brother, if I'm right or wrong. If this is applying to America, then we indeed have to be the fourth generation. So what I'm gonna ask you, I want a yes or no. I don't know in between. And look, we're not here to cast stones, and we're not going to judge anyone. So if you think that this prophecy is applying to America, that we're the fourth generation, let me hear you put yes. If no, we're not, then put no. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that because I want to see your answers. So yes, if you believe we're the fourth generation. No, if you don't. All right, let's see it, Zion. Let's see what you got.
Okay, Israel.
All right, we got a couple of yeses. We got some no's. Got yes. Got a couple of yes. Okay, yes. All right. All right. Yes. Yes. All right. Got about almost an equal amount. Got a little more no's than yes. All right. So that's fair enough. So that's what we want to see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the very top, and we're gonna break this thing down verse by verse and give you some precepts. And we're going to actually show you, the Bible actually tells us pretty much what generation we're in. So, well, we're going to look at we're going to look at everything. So that way you can see for yourself where we're coming from.
Don't be guessing. Don't guess now, because this is real important. These answers is going to determine whether or not have you actually been reading and studying the scriptures for yourselves. Salakia.
All right. So just take it with a grain of salt, and we're gonna dissect the scriptures, and we're gonna get into the word. So let's go back up to, let's start with verse 12, where it says, when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. So we know this is obvious that he was having a vision. The Most High was getting ready to show him what was getting ready to happen. All right, verse 13. Now this one is a doozy, because I'm telling you,
I'm going to pause it right there. Now, you gotta be careful when you listen to people. You got to pick up on certain things. See, he's trying to set the audience up to think that this prophecy is going to be fulfilled in not in the latter times, but sooner than you would think. That's what he said. The Most High is about to tell Abraham what's getting ready to happen. You notice that, right?
You know what? I want to also add, he believes in that. He believed in that, like that Christian Antichrist doctrine. Like a lot of things has to happen in the Antichrist, in the mark of the beast, and all that stuff. Not saying I don't believe in that. I just believe that, the mark of the beast was Christianity. Even Sir Isaac Newton wrote in his own book that Coptic cross was the mark of the beast. And Christianity, Islam, and all these religions is the mark of the beast. My opinion.
Well, you know, the scripture says even back then there were many antichrists in
Exactly.
the
Right.
world. You know, so you know everybody's looking for this specific one boogeyman based off of Christianity that's never going to show up because the boogeyman been here. You know,
Exactly.
the boogeyman been here, but not only that, like you know, it really puts up a shield where brothers, you know, all these things are offshoots from like the rapture doctrine and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all it is. You know, you have to formulate some kind of boogeyman, and he's going to come and he's going to do this X, Y, and Z. You know, and all of this is really based on those people that's over there in that land right now being the real people.
Right.
You know, it don't fit if they ain't the real people. You know,
Right.
so I mean, how one who is Israel surmises that, I don't know. Did you have something to add? Anybody?
I do have a question. Since you guys have been looking into this dude, what is his position on the second Exodus? Just curious.
His position on the second Exodus is it's around the way that the brother Yashadik said. His position is really more so Mashiach coming back here and delivering us from here.
Hmm.
You know, and you'll see as you go forward, because what a lot of brothers, and I'm not trying to single out brothers in camps, but a lot of brothers in camps have this notion that Mashiach is going to save us from here. You know, and that's why they keep saying no man know the hour, no man know the hour. The deliverance from here and Mashiach return, those are two separate events.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what brothers like himself, Seed of Israel, and his brother Northgate are getting caught up at. You know, they're getting caught up in that because they still have residual teachings from Christianity permeating throughout their thought process. You know, but
You'll also hear a lot of people who take that position speak on things such as prepping and you know, enduring, you know, getting ready to endure the Jacob's trouble.
mhm,
You'll hear that position a lot.
yeah. Which you know, we've always asked also the question, you know, if Jacob trouble is like no other day, what is supposed to happen in Jacob trouble that has not happened to our people already? You know, you got that element, and then you got the element of, you know, really not acknowledging the things that have been happening. You know, Jacob's trouble doesn't just apply to you as an individual. You know, it applies to us as a people, as a nation. If it's not, you know, if Jacob trouble isn't infants being aborted, you telling me Jacob trouble is not mass incarceration? You mean Jacob trouble, the 70 AD, didn't that wasn't Jacob trouble to those people? You know, the transatlantic slave trade, that wasn't Jacob's trouble to them, you know? So we have to, you know, we have to take everything into account. We just can't look at our particular era or generation and say, oh yeah, we're gonna go through Jacob's trouble because it said that it would be like a day like no other. And there's only a few of us left. Let's be honest. If we're going to take into account how big our nation would have been had not all these events had occurred, then we are a remnant.
Right.
You know?
1/3.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you was just saying, Brother Banya, Jacob's trouble, big time, right? What could be more of Jacob's trouble than lynching? I mean, come
Exactly.
on now, that's crazy. But one thing I want to point out, and you were saying this before, Brother Banya, this brother and these two brothers actually, it's not so bad that you're in error, right? Because they're not basically telling people anything about salvation right now. They're not coming out and saying this is the only, if you're not saved if you believe in the 400-year prophecy. They're not saying that. So they could be in error. But the big problem is that they're, number one, they're teaching people. They're teaching, and they're teaching with authority. And they're basically saying, if you are waiting for this day, or if you think that something happened on this day, you're in error and you need to change your mind. And when people bring it out to them that, hey, wait, You might be wrong. Look at this. They're like, Brother Eric, you're a demon. You're a devil. Get away from us. You don't know what you're talking about. And they're very dismissive and shut people down. And that's where they're wrong. And that's where they need to be corrected.
Mm-hmm. I would say along the lines too of what the brother Yashadiq said. It's diminishing people's hope. The whole point of the book is, the point of the book is to learn how to worship and obey the Most High, and also a large part of that book is to give our people hope. That's the whole point of it, so that our people will endure in these times. But when you snatch hope away from people, what the results of that is people walking away from the faith. And that's one of the reasons why we wasn't so quick to put out any dates and say this or that was going to happen. We've always maintained that on the Most High's time after judgment, but we are still pointing, brothers and sisters, there's a light down the tunnel. There's a light where you don't have to die and you'll be delivered out of captivity, but we don't have the precise number. We know that after judgment, this is going to happen. Nevertheless, that's hope for our people to endure. You see what I'm saying? But when you start saying, 400 years is going to happen, Mashiach got to come over here. And nah, man. Yeah. You got people looking in the skies waiting for spaceships to come. Nah, the Most High say he gonna deliver them out of their captivity. He's gonna turn the plagues over from them and onto those who oppress them. Right?
And you know what else? A lot of it stems from the fact that I remember when the 400 years, when you first came out with this 400-year prophecy, you started before it was coming out, and you was doing teachings up to it. And in the Most High, he was revealing through many of his servants about this 400-year prophecy. But at the same time, there were certain of our brethren and sisters that started coming out against it, because they had this fear within them that if the Most High didn't come on exactly that 400 year, because even now they're even coming up against it. And that's what most of this is that many of us know back into that Christian mindset. That's what was going to cause this great falling away. You know what I mean? They don't understand that the great falling away ain't for us. Ours is the great awakening. They're going to fall away when they see us being lifted up. That's the great falling away. But that's a whole nother subject. But that's really the basis of where these teachings, or that's the spirit out of which these teachings are birthed, out of a spirit of fear that it was going to call. And I know I've witnessed them saying it even before that. It's going to cause many people to leave. First of all, I don't even believe we can treat this as a religion. And when we say that you left the faith, you can't leave the faith. You can leave the faith, but the scripture says you cannot deny yourself.
Right.
Indeed. Who you are is who you are. You can say I don't believe it all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that you are still a child of the Most High. You can be the devil, not the devil, but as wicked as you can, and you still be a seed of Israel. You're just gonna suffer the consequences for your wickedness.
Right.
Absolutely. Amen.
So let's continue on.
Many people don't pay attention to this verse and what it's saying. So it says 13. I'm just going to read it here. I'm going to read it through. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, one thing, and here's what's going on, Zion. So what's happening is that some people are taking this prophecy, right, and the 430 years and making it separate. So they're saying that this one in Genesis 15:13 and Acts 7:6 is applying to America, and then some people are saying that the 430 years actually apply to Egypt, when in reality it's one and the same. You got to look at the area it's covering. So let's look at verse 13 again. It says, "And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs." All right. We're talking about 3 different time events here that's happening at the same time, or this one after another. A stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
All right, so here's a question I have for anybody that's listening, brothers alike. What is the indication that these are 3 different time periods? Because he just said it's 3 different time periods. What is the indication of that? What indicates that being 3 separate time periods?
Well, you got to go back and listen. We're listening to a man who just said 400 is equal to 430. I take anything else he say after that with a grain of salt. I know he can't add. Like I just loaned, like he gave me $400 and I came back. I said, here you go. The next day he'd be like, where the 30 at? You know, I can't. Where the 30 at? I said, yeah.
Because I'm thinking maybe I'm missing something, because I don't see any indication of these being 3 separate events.
Well, if you look at how 13 is written, I could see how someone can surmise that, but you would be in error because of the fact that if you look what it reads, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that's not theirs. That's a one-time event in his mind. Mm-hmm. Number 2, and shall serve them. That's another time event. And then they shall afflict them 400 years. That's 3 different time events. That's the only way that you can surmise that.
I said the question I would have also is who is the there and who is the they and who is the them?
Well, you've got problems throughout, but his biggest problem is really the first part of that, when it says they would be a stranger in a land that's not theirs. Why would he say there'd be a land that is not theirs when that's the same land that he promised to them?
Because it's all in the mind, brother Cleo.
I'm going to be quiet. Because here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just listen to him before I formed an opinion or before I spoke on it. But right now he's not looking very good. But I'm going to go back on.
He has a dyslexic revelation.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Paul just stopping every minute he says something that's off, right? We're gonna get your pencils and papers out, brothers, and make sure you jotting down something. We're gonna listen a little bit to what he got to say before we stop, because he's gonna say some major stuff. But just get your pencils and papers out.
But before we go there, so since we're on this particular point, I would think, right? Because I think in the beginning, they started by saying you have to read the scripture. And the other brother, the Northgate, he said, this is going to test whether or not you brothers and sisters have been reading the scriptures for yourself. But what a twisted way to read. I mean, I would break it up. I would break verse 13 up that way if there was some indication in another book, in another scripture, the so-called New Testament, somewhere else that told me this is the way you break it up. But he's just saying, hey, this is the way you read it, and you read it that way because I said so. All right, you can go ahead now. You can go ahead now, brother.
That's exactly what I was getting at, though. Is that because I said so, and it's that old pompous attitude about the whole deal. It's like, okay, I can't possibly be okay, but let's go. Let's go.
Now we know that they were not afflicted 400 years. We know that they did not do hard bondage for 400 years. That's a given. You can't deny that. So we were in 100% agreement that they did not do. They were not in hard bondage for the whole
they
400
weren't afflicted 400 years.
But they did sojourn to Egypt. They served them. So when Joseph went over there and his family members, they were living good. It wasn't until the new king rose up. And
I'm sorry, what'd you say, bro?
Did he say they weren't afflicted 400 years? We know they weren't afflicted 400 years. Go back to the beginning of when he started that statement.
I'm telling you, man, this is why people shouldn't play with sharp knives.
Serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now we know that they were not afflicted 400 years. We know that they did not do hard bondage for 400 years. That's a given. You can't deny that. So
they go back to how you define affliction, but he blatantly said we know they weren't afflicted 400 years after reading it.
The camera should have cut off after that, but let's keep going.
Years. We know that they did not do hard bondage for 400 years. That's a given. You can't deny that. So we were in 100% agreement that they did not do. They were not in hard bondage for the whole 400 years. But they did sojourn to Egypt. They served them. So when Joseph went over there and his family members, they were living good. It wasn't until the new king rose up and, made them didn't know Joseph and put him into captivity. But again, you got to understand there's several things that's going on here. No restricted that sea will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So all these three events, all these things that are happening is within that span of 400 years. Not the affliction, not the.
I got a question.
400 years, just everything.
Ash, what's the question, bro?
For anybody who has a good paying job or has a good profession, do you deem yourself not a servant because of that?
No, absolutely not.
Is that what we're equating it to? Because no matter what you do, whatever you make, best believe you're making whoever is above you much more than that, probably 10 times more than that or more.
Yeah.
If you're making $20 an hour, best believe they can pay you about 50. Because the rest of whatever they can pay you, they try to give it out in the form of incentives. If you show up to work every day, if you come to work every day, you get a bonus. And guess what? If you don't come to work every day, what they gonna do with that money? They gonna line their pockets with it. But that's all I wanted. Because he said they weren't afflicted all that time, and our people think affliction is just being in chains and whipped. We still being afflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, brother Erica. And don't forget the translation of the Septuagint, and what the Septuagint says will be done to our people during those 400 years. Just wanted to put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he know about that, Brother Hal.
Yeah, he might not sure.
I honestly, after that statement, he pretty much null and void everything else. But let's keep going.
But they did sojourn to Egypt. They served them. So when Joseph went over there and his family members, they were living good. It wasn't until the new king rose up and made them didn't know Joseph and put him into captivity. But again, you got to understand there's several things that's going on here. nor will surely that sea will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So all these three events, all these things that are happening is within that span of 400 years, not the affliction for 400 years, but just everything from the sojourning and to the serving, all the way to the affliction. 400 years they dwell. That's what we got to understand. We really got to get that we're going to talk about more. Brother, you want to add on anything before I move on? Because we're going to be on this one for a minute.
Okay. You know, I know how Israel, you know, they just want to believe that, you know, there's some kind of deliverance after 400 years. But, you know, we have to look at the facts of the situation. Even if we go back, you know, I know we have like some of Israel, they're celebrating Juneteenth or whatever it is. Now, the emancipation. Now, we were never set free. You know, that is just an illusion that once again the heathen has tricked you to believe in. Now, and you're giving credence and you're giving you know, the glory to the heathen, to the into the doggone white man that's saying that he freed you. You didn't fight for any freedom. You didn't work for any freedom. You were getting your backs beat in, and they decided to let off this. You know, saying they decided to let you out of slavery. That's what happened, and that's the reality of the situation. Now, and knowing that, do you think that these heathen would willingly let you out of so-called slavery after all the rape, robbing, and murdering that they did to our people? You know what I'm saying? That we would obviously want get back. You know, I mean, like if somebody slaps a brother and sister right now, man, you're gonna want to get back and you want to fight. If somebody hit your grandma, you're gonna want to fight. If somebody hit your great grandma, you're gonna want to fight. But they had taken the fight out of us to the point where, just like it says in the scriptures, we were destroyed mentally. I mean, like anyone in their right mind, as soon as the chains came off and they let us free, man, we should have wiped them out, period. We should have fought until the last breath. But we have not done that. So for any Hebrew to sit here and talk about some 400 years of fakery, that has nothing to do with anything. The Most High, Yahweh, came by and he delivered Egypt. He delivered Egypt. He delivered Israel from Egypt after their 400 years of bondage. And y'all guys are trying to give credit to the white man. See, man, that this kind of thinking is the kind of stuff that really irritates me when I look at people and they say,
I gotta stop it. Can somebody point me to the video where we give the white man glory over the 400-year prophecy?
Well, I was going to say that. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, go ahead, brother Cleo.
No, I was going to say the same thing.
I know where you're going.
When did anybody say anything about Juneteenth and someone reading scripture? How do you make that correlation? Because I'm listening to this brother. He hasn't brought not one precept to support his argument, not one. And he starts off by saying the facts of the situation. Well, the facts of the situation, and then he talks about reading, but that's neither here nor there. I want to go back up to what the other brother said, just real briefly. Now I'm gonna shut the H up. He says that we were living good in Egypt, and that we weren't afflicted for 400 years. So I got a question for the family in the panel. If you read verse 13, is there any good in that verse for Israel?
Not at all.
I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see any good in there.
Okay, so listen to him talk. He's a teacher, right? And I'm not going to say that he's not a teacher. He teaches the book. But he says we were living good and things were great, this, that, and the third, right? Don't rewind it. But, okay, so that's contrary to what verse 13 says, because verse 13 is doom.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, you doomed. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to say, I'm trying not to say nothing else. I'm going to let y'all rock out.
But here's where he cut himself also. He said all these events happened within a time span of 400 years, right? Now, he himself, I don't know if he said it or not, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but he himself is going to say that the afflictions didn't start until after the Israelites came into Egypt. And then also he said that it's a fact that we can't argue that they wasn't afflicted 400 years. So it's like, really, what are you talking about, brother? It's like,
yeah, but hold up though. His own brother said, his own man just said we was afflicted
Oh yeah,
in Egypt for 400 years. The North Gate just said it.
exactly.
If you rewind it just a little bit, he says it. So they contradicted each other on this same silly video.
But they was living good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is a, you know, and
Man.
I think he's right not to touch it anymore, because what he didn't put his fingers in right now, he doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. Honestly, he's doing a lot of reaching, and we haven't even gotten 15 minutes into the video, and he's already cut himself several times. And this guy down here, man, I don't even know why he's there. I don't know what he's there for.
That's the hype, man.
Yeah, you think because you said the Most High Yahweh Shai, that's supposed to mean something? Because you say that, because you said that now everything that you said, that's scripture. Nah, brother, like I don't know what this brother's talking about, but he's so off, man. I don't even know if we should address him. I feel like I should just put a black spot here and just listen to what this brother. At least he sound like he don't sound like he have any sense either, but at least
look, hey, I think when he's referring to the white man, we depending on the white man and trusting the white man reference, he referring to that HR 1242 bill.
Yeah. I kind of surmised that somewhat in my mind that's where he was going with it.
But hold up, that's a good one, because let me put this up real quick. I'm gonna just put a scripture in the link real quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it.
Matthew 16:13. And in the morning it will be foul weather today. Oh, he was talking to them Pharisees. He's, oh, ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times. Because the HR 412 directed us straight to the 400 years. It said we was here 400 years.
Yep. Straight like that.
There you go.
Nobody giving no credence to no white man. You know, I don't know what he's talking about.
I think he got us mistaken for somebody else's channel, because we never did. You look at all our videos, we never rocked that way.
Exactly. Oh, the white man delivering us out of. Come on, man.
You got the wrong shit. You got us mixed up with somebody else, man.
The white man delivering us out. Crazy, bro. I gotta hear that again, but it was laughable though, honestly.
Add on anything before I move on, because we're gonna be on this one for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I know how Israel, you know, they just want to believe that, you know, there's some kind of deliverance after 400 years. But, you know, we have to look at the facts of the situation. Even if we go back, you know, I know we have like some of Israel, they're celebrating Juneteenth or whatever it is. Now, the emancipation. Now, we were never set free. You know, that is just an illusion that, once again, the heathen has tricked you to believe in. Now, and you're giving credence and you're giving, you know, the glory to the heathen, to the doggone white man that's saying that he freed you. You didn't fight for any freedom. You didn't work for any freedom. You were getting your backs beat in, and they decided to let off this, you know what I'm saying? They decided to let you out of slavery. That's what happened. And that's the reality of the situation. Now, in knowing that, do you think that these heathen would willingly let you out of so-called slavery after all the rape, robbing, and murdering that they did to our people? You know what I'm saying? That we would obviously want get back. You know, I mean, like, if somebody slaps a brother or sister right now, man, you're going to want to get back and you want to fight. If somebody hit your grandma, you're going to want to fight. If somebody hit your great-grandma, you're going to want to fight. But they had taken the fight out of us to the point where, just like it says in the scriptures, we were destroyed mentally. I mean, like, anyone in their right mind, as soon as the chains came off and they let us free, man, we should have wiped them out, period. We should have fought until the last breath. But we have not done that. So for any Hebrew to sit here and talk about some 400 years of fakery, That has nothing to do with anything. The Most High, Yahushua, came by and he delivered Egypt. He delivered Egypt. He delivered Israel from Egypt after their 400 years of bondage. And y'all guys are trying to give credit to the white man. See, man, this kind of thinking is the kind of stuff that really irritates me when I look at people and they say these scriptures. And also, right, if you want to just really go on it, we have to understand this good old plain reading comprehension. Now, in verse 13, just as the brother Daniel was reading, he said, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Now, it says a stranger in a land. That is singular. That's not plural. We have to stop adding to the scriptures. We have to leave the scriptures as they are. We have precept upon precept, line upon line. It doesn't get any different. It doesn't get any different. Then it goes down and it says nation, as in singular. It doesn't have nations. We have plenty of nations on the earth because the Lord scattered our people to all the nations on the earth. So for you guys to even try to equate some fabricated 400-year prophecy that the heathen have delivered you from, that's absolute folly. That's folly at its pinnacle.
Doesn't make sense at all. And brother, I'm going to touch. We're going to reiterate on this. And I pulled up Acts too, so they can see the precepts. And then we're going to talk about the 430 years and how it ties into all of this. Let's look at. And I got it on the screen. So Genesis 15:13, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And that's what people get mixed up, that they were 400 years and think that, oh, they were afflicted for 400 years. No, they were not afflicted for 400 years. They dwelt in a strange land, they served them, and they were afflicted. All of that consists of 400 years. Now, when you look at Acts, because people take Acts and they apply it, but this is a precept to, this is 15:13. Paul was just quoting from the Old Testament. So it says, and God spake on this wise, that's Acts chapter 7, verse 6. And God spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a land, let me just read that, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. So again, you have this span of events that are happening during this 400 years. We know they were not afflicted for the whole time.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Can I ask my famous question?
Go ahead, go get him.
It says, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Right there. Why didn't the Most High just say Egypt?
That's the question you ask all the time. And the answer to that is the land that they were dwelling was going to be land Goshen that was going to be given to them. So that invalidates his whole. You can stop the video right now. You could have been stopped the video.
You are the first person to answer that question, Brother Cleo. I've been waiting for 2 years for an answer to that question. You're the first person to answer it.
Also, there's also a question of if one's a stranger, shouldn't it be already known that the land isn't theirs? Isn't that redundant to say someone's a stranger in a land that's not theirs?
Yeah, that's like duh.
Yeah.
Really?
To be a stranger, that's already to imply that the land's not yours. So why was those specifics pointed out? Because Israel was strangers in the land of Egypt. They were strangers in the land of Babylon also. They were strangers when they was taken into the transatlantic slave trade. But what's the difference between all these different captivities in Egypt? They wasn't dwelling in the land that's not theirs.
Hey, they were strangers in Ephesus.
Mm-hmm.
They were strangers in Corinth.
Yep. But while in Egypt, they were dwelling in Goshen, which is a land that was promised to them because it fell between the borders of the river of Egypt and the Euphrates. And I answered that also within the video, and he also he did something to the degree of just like, oh yeah, I use 14 maps. I use like 5 different maps, or 5 maps that came together to form or give an accurate depiction of what I was trying to show. Either way you see it, Goshen fell outside of the river of Egypt. It fell between the river of Egypt and the Euphrates. So technically, Goshen was our land, which is why when you read scriptures like Genesis 15 and 13, and it says, he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed should be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. That's why you can dismiss that right there. They wasn't in the land that was not theirs. They were dwelling in Goshen. But there's more. The North Gate, he said a whole bunch of stuff, man, that it's really like non-essential stuff, man. Just really I'm gonna use one of theirs. It's just emotional.
Like he said, hype, man.
Yeah, he's the hype man. You know, the facts of the matter is the facts.
He missing a top hat and a clock around his neck.
Yeah. I thought the way he had that thing on his head, you know how them small hats be having that little square box on their head. I thought the way he got that rumpled up is like he got it covered. He got
the clock right there in the background. You see the clock right there, the big clock in the background. Yeah,
now we roasting him. Let's
stop. Let's stop roasting him.
Hey, just to clarify, I don't want nobody to think, man, these salt of the earth brothers, y'all wrong, man. Anybody who put themselves out there like this, man, they liable for that smoke.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
It's like we really. It's like it's like you really can't help it. If your teaching is that ridiculous, it's like. It's so unintelligent. It's hard for us to bring out real intelligence on it because it's like ridiculous. So yeah, gotta get him. Notorious Hebrew said, "Get him, gotta get him."
You already know how silly I can get, man. You seen the Alton thing that I did, loony dudes. Well, let's go.
430 years. So now let's go to Genesis chapter 12.
And then, man, Salakia, man, they can't even say that we've been afflicted for 400 years straight. We haven't been afflicted for 400 years straight. So, yes, I mean, like, I don't understand how they kind of even equate that. I don't know how they equate that to, what we're going right now. You're not forced to work. Mm-hmm. You're not getting your back beat in anymore. I'm not saying that we're free, but I'm saying that, you're not under hard bondage. And exactly. Out there under hard bondage. No one.
Pause it.
Exactly.
So they ain't just so they ain't just snatching. Cops ain't just pulling old ladies out and crippled men out the car and just beating them down for no reason. They ain't just shooting people down in the streets like they dogs, huh? What is he talking about?
Come on.
What is he talking about? I'm done.
Come on, Yosh.
You got some more. Yeah, because he's saying that we ain't being afflicted. Then what is this? We got out. Okay, slavery ended in 1865. They had to send the military down there to protect us. In 10 years, we started ruling it. They called that Reconstruction. But we had so many members in the House of Representatives and the Senate that the Supreme Court said, okay, they basically said blacks have arrived. Now you had the formation of the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan came in there and basically put us down for the next 100 years and until up into till the 1968. We was put down. They was hanging us, lynching us at will, doing whatever they want to us. They chased the whole populations of families from the South, and basically it became another rescattering where some of our people went up into the North. Some of us people went out west. They scattered us everywhere because of this affliction was so bad. And to this day, our people have a mind. Now, hold up, because I forget it was. He said the Septuagint said they were going to humble us for 400 years. Okay, example of the humbling. Now our people have this mindset, whereas once we had stood up for ourselves. Now it's like where we're taking the side of gay rights activists over our own people. When you're talking about how the gay agenda is affecting or can destroy the black family, and it's used for the depopulation of the black family, and the same with abortion. Our people, this is an example of humble will say, will cape on the side of the enemy. We're humbled when we had groups you called Black Lives Matter, which really we know what it really was. But what I'm saying is, when we're fighting everybody else's battle except our own, we're fighting the Asian battle, the Hispanic battle, the gay battle. We're even fighting the white man's battle. That is humble. So what is this dude talking about?
I hope y'all see Brother Bunyard breaking down them definitions as Brother Yash talking to y'all. This is what's happening. This dude don't know what he talking about.
Yeah, Sister Maya Yukada. They just gave us a no lynching law. So you mean to tell me that before last week? Because they just passed, I think, last week. If you got caught lynching one of us, it wasn't a crime. That's what you really saying. But we're not afflicted.
See, but you know what else, man? Brothers that do that, they don't look into all aspects of things. They just assume, right? So, one, there's spiritual aspects to affliction, and there's physical aspects to it. But just on the physical note, and I pulled it up just a moment ago. What affliction is? The Brown Drivers Briggs Hebrew Lexico says, poor, afflicted, humble, wretch, poor, needy, poor, weak, afflicted, wretch, humble, lowly, right? To subjugate people. Are you subjugated to this government? Yes, you are. But let's let the word speak, right? The word is more powerful, right? Because the Most High addresses those that are afflicted, and this is future prophecy in Isaiah 51:21. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine, right? Thus saith the Most High thy Elohim, and the Most High that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou should no more drink it again, right? But I will put it into the hands of them that afflict thee. Now, had the cup been put in the hand of those that afflict us yet? It's beginning to be transferred over to them, but are they drinking of those two cups yet? Absolutely not. Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body at the ground. The problem with our people is the same instance that we dealing with when we talk about Jacob's trouble. Brothers are not acknowledging anything unless they going through it. Individual is not acknowledging. I guarantee you, if the police come and start pulling your black behind up out of the car and shooting you up, then all of a sudden you'll understand that we afflicted. But our people don't understand that they're afflicted unless it's happening to them. I don't get it. It's this individual mindset where our people are not regarding the suffering of our people as not only as today, but they're not acknowledging the suffering that our people been going through. And when they reading the scripture, they reading it with the blinders of Christianity. Christianity will tell you, shut up, nigga. You ain't went through nothing, nigga. You wasn't a slave. You know, you didn't go through nothing. Do you understand what affliction is, brother? Or are you happy in your current condition? Are you happy in the cage that you live in? Are you happy in the land of your captivity? Are you comfortable? If you are, then of course you don't feel afflicted. But you speaking he's speaking from a place of individualism. He's not speaking from a place of, concern about us as a nation.
Yeah, but he not only that, but I actually feel sorry for the brother because he hasn't done none of the historical studies that some of the stuff that we've actually gone into. He should probably take a look at it because if you look at the slavery period, and Yash brought it out pretty eloquently, but if you look at that period between then and now, from the time that they released us even to this day, we've been going through hell on earth. It's actually you hear a European say it was actually better for you that you were in slavery. And not from their perspective, but the fact that just imagine two forces are fighting and they're fighting over you, but they're telling the world that they're not. They're fighting over you, and you're caught in the middle of this. You can't go to the north because they'll put you in, quote, contraband camps or concentration camps, which they don't call it that. But then you can't go to the south because the south is trying to kill you too. So the brother has no bearing when it comes to what our people have been going through from even just, let's just say, even from the 1850s all the way up until let's say to the crack era, to the late 80s and mid 90s. All of the things in between, I would recommend that everybody, even the folks in the chat, and even the brothers online, which the brothers I'm sure have already covered, but understanding a historical perspective on what has happened to our people will give you a better sense of balance. And I'm a yield.
Hey, to the brother Gregory's comment, he says, "I'm not in slavery." You see that comment?
Where's it at?
No, Brother Eric, read his last two comments. I think he was just clarifying something. I think.
We definitely in captivity because we are sick people. And I was gonna address that none of us are in slavery, but we're in captivity.
Mm-hmm.
We're subject to this nation. So I agree with that 100%. We're not in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Bob Marley said, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Emancipate yourself."
Yeah.
And that's why. Well. Here's the thing, though. The conditioning of our people was for this purpose. When you see that brother speak the way he speak and what he said, that's what the conditioning of our people was all about, to get us to not recognize that we are in captivity and that we are in slavery. I've done this analogy before. Our forefathers that were brought here, they were jumping off of ships. They was running away. They were trying to get out of here, right? But the children that was born here, they think that this cage is home. It's the same way you bring a lion into the zoo. You take a lion out of I don't want to say the jungle, but you take a lion out of Africa, out of his natural habitat that's used to being in this natural habitat, and you put him in the zoo. That lion is going to want to be free from out of that zoo. If any opportunity he gets to get out of that zoo, he's going to get out of there. It don't matter what he has to do or who he has to kill. He's going to try to get out of that zoo. But his cubs that's born in that zoo don't know anything other than that zoo. So they become content with living there. They become somewhat domesticated. And that's why when you have animals that they have in the zoo, they're not even sure if they can bring them back to the wild, because they're so used to having people taking care of them they don't know if that animal would be able to survive out in the wild. And it's the same situation when it comes to our people. Our people are domesticated. That's what the problem is. We're domesticated. And we'll take the same talking points that the people that are ancestors to the ones that brought us over here would use and claim that we're not in slavery. We didn't choose to come over here. If any of you brothers had the choice to stay or leave, or had the choice that your forefathers didn't have to be drug over here, you would choose that they didn't have to be drug over here, right? Therefore, you wouldn't be here yourself. So to sit here and say that we're here because we're not enslaved, that's someone who hasn't opened their eyes to really what it means to be free. You know?
Yep.
This ain't freedom. The choices you have is the ones they give you here. Point blank, period, just like that. You go ahead and you try to go outside of the rules of this construct if you want. See if they don't put you down. Then you'll realize that you're not free. But you give brothers a few trinkets, you give brothers TVs and cars, and then they think they've arrived. They're free. This stuff don't mean nothing. All that stuff is garbage. You know, it's the same. It's on the same. It's on the same level as our brothers and sisters killing each other over a block that don't belong to you. And then after all y'all dead, then they come and genderify it and build it up for themselves. It never belonged to you. Killing each other and talking about you ain't enslaved when you got a kingdom waiting for you. The world belongs to you. You talking about this is home and you ain't no slave? Wake up, man.
It's people like that. When we leave and they talking about staying. Those the most are gonna be crying. When he say they gonna be going and weeping, it's them. Because I know I'm gonna be happy. They gonna be
Exactly. There's gonna be people that choose to stay. You know, it's gonna be people that complain when we go.
Yeah, I can see that. Wait. I'm not going. We got another 50 years. Everything ain't happened yet.
Mm-hmm. The sister says, hold on, go back to it. Let me see.
Yeah, go back to that comment.
She says, thank you. I saw a YouTuber's video talking about every nation of people has been in slavery, and our own people were agreeing with them. Yeah, but the difference is, you know what? Here's the big difference, right? Those are children of the flesh. We the children of the Most High. Most High ain't you ain't supposed to do what you did to us. The Most High said, he said, I was wroth with my people. I given them over into thy hands. Thou showest them no mercy. Unto the ancient have thou very laid heavily thy yoke. That's the difference. Who we belong to.
And
These
not
other
only
nations
that,
been going through that. Like the brother Eric was telling me earlier. My bad, bro.
nah, you go ahead.
These other nations been going through that stuff.
Exactly. They've
been going through the garbage they've been going through because they heathens. They don't got no mannerisms that's of the Most High.
Exactly.
They ain't have his laws and stuff like that. We wasn't going through the same stuff as them.
Not only that, I say, shoot, that's their fight. When they say if they're every other nation been enslaved, well, why ain't they complaining about it? That don't take away from our complaint. I'm not gonna fight their battle, but I'm fighting our battle.
Well, what that is that you're being dismissive on purpose so that you never have to address what the real issue is. Like, for instance, America keeps not wanting to hear you. If they don't listen to you, then they believe that, okay, it's going to go away and we don't have to address whatever these issues that these Negroes have.
No doubt. But you know what, brothers? You know what I really hate to hear? I hate it with a passion. When people say that there are other peoples, other so-called races, other nations that have been in slavery. There has been no slavery like American chattel slavery. no slavery like American chattel slavery. No other nation, no other people have been treated like animals. And not just treated like animals, but made to be animals. There is no other slavery like this for a nation. So when they say other nations, other peoples have been in slavery, yeah, okay. So have they been under chattel slavery? Nations of people? Come on, that's just another cop out.
No other people's plight and suffering has been minimized like ours has either. Anytime someone talks about what happened to us, then somebody want to bring up somebody else. But you talk about what Hitler did to those people over there, and then somebody come bringing up something else. Hey, yo, what are you doing? This, you know what I mean? What did that have to do with us? Don't you dare do that, man. They'll shut you down. Ask Whoopi Goldberg. You see what I'm saying? They shut you down. They're always trying to minimize our plight. You know, but that in itself shows you who we are. The scriptures told you that no man would be for Israel.
Yeah.
No one would be for us except for the Most High. We don't need nobody else either.
Thy lovers have forsaken thee.
Exactly. We don't need. That's what we need to realize. We don't need nobody else. If the Most High is with you, who can be against you? You know, our people need to stop giving their spirit and their prayer over to these people. You know, stop talking about arguing about if they can be delivered or not. When your people, the main people in need for salvation and deliverance, but you worried about some damn white man whether or not he gonna be able to be in the kingdom with you.
And that's a big problem with our people. We getting triggered over whether or not white people gonna be in the kingdom of us. What about the other Gentile? First of all, they act like white folk is the only Gentile. You pick the nastiest heathen, the most wicked heathen that you could think of, and just because there's a few good of them, of good ones, you want them to be in the kingdom, and damn all the rest of the people. You ain't even thinking about the rest of the people. That shows that our minds must be emancipated from this slavery.
Yeah, let's put that out too. If you ain't a nasty heathen, don't take it to heart. If you
Right.
love Israel, don't take it to heart.
Yeah, don't take it. If you love Israel, I don't think they're gonna
but
take it.
But if you hate us, then then the shoe fit, wear it. You know.
Let's see some flags in the comment section. Some American flags.
Yo, we didn't fell off topic. Hold on, man. Let's get back to these brothers though, because there's so much, man. It's crazy. Can you guys see it?
No, you're not sharing it. You got to remove that comment too from Sister Joy. Sister Joy, put that link in the comment section.
Okay. Here we go.
When did the chains come off? So, okay, let's just say, we're going to talk about this some more too. So let's say if this was applying to America, let's say, okay, they said, according to this, was it the HR 4212 that Trump signed a while back ago, you know, you think they're going to tell us the truth? How long we really been over here? So let's just say, okay, this is applying to America. When did the chains come off? So if you say 1619 to 2019, then that ain't even 400 years, because when did the chains come off? What, around 65? Something later? So technically, that wasn't even 400 years.
And then
can you stop right there for a second? There's a point there. Okay, so he's trying to equate that.
What about and if you really want to do it, man, we've been in captivity way longer than 400 years. If y'all want to get all the way back to about what 700 AD, the sub-Saharan slave trade first started. And we've been
too. Yes, later when we get to that, I'm gonna pull up and show y'all the slave routes and everything. So let's look at we're gonna get Genesis chapter 12, and let's look at verses 40 through 41.
Genesis what, brother?
Genesis chapter 12 and verses 12. I'm sorry, verses 40. Yeah, verses 40 to 41.
No. That's not in Genesis, though, is it?
No, I'm sorry, Exodus. Exodus.
Yeah.
Exodus.
Well, okay. Come on.
Hey, brother Barney, are you back? Stop for a second.
Yeah.
Brother Cleo wanted to chime in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
No, that's okay. Let the video rock out, and I'll comment later. It was just a point about the fact that he's making the issue of 400 years needs to be 400 years of affliction. What our presentation is saying that yes, we are, and what the book says is 400 years of affliction. But his point is that it's important for us to make that point, but it's not important for his perspective to be 400 years of affliction. I don't get that.
Yeah. The burden of proof, they don't understand the burden of proof really lies more so on them.
Hey, remind me to go back to verse 14, Genesis 15:14. After you get done breaking this down.
Okay.
That right there is really a head buster.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Okay, you got it. Yeah, Exodus 12 and verses 40 to 41. Got it?
Come.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and read that right quick.
All right, the book of Exodus, chapter 12, I'm going to read verse 40 and 41. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt for 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Now this is the same prophecy. This is the same prophecy that was given in Genesis. And when we cover that, I'm going to show you. Because some of y'all probably asking, well, where is that 430 years coming? I thought it was just 400. But you got to understand what it says right here. The scriptures are plain. These are not two separate prophecies. It says, and it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
Now, hey, Israel, I want you guys to remember that a lot of you guys said that we're in the fourth generation. Hey, don't forget that point too,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna bring that out when we get to that last one. We're gonna bring that out. All right. So now let's go to. Head it down here. Let's go to Galatians 3:17. Galatians 3:17.
You want me to read that one up?
Genesis
15. Yeah, we can go to Genesis 15.
Yeah.
And we can go to 15 and 14. And why would we not come out with great substance? Because now we have Egyptians, right? Right. And it reads, and also that nation, which is singular, whom they shall serve, because they did serve the Egyptians, right? A singular nation.
Mm-hmm.
Will I judge? And they got judged by the 10 plagues. And we see America's not been judged yet. It's been way past 400 years. And after it, they shall come out with great substance. Now we have definitely not come out with great substance. And why would we not come out with great substance? Because if you go to the curses, it says we're not going to get no donkey back. And not only that, the great substance happened when they left out of Egypt. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Exodus chapter 12, where we just were.
Yep.
And let's start at 35. Exodus 12 and 35. And this is the great substance that Israel left with after they left the land of Egypt. All right. And it says, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. And they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. So they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. Now, if you look up spoiled, you know that means they just basically just took everything from them. That is the Israel leaving with the great substance.
Mm-hmm. And
You don't even have your own last name, and you have the nerve to say the 400 years is over and we leaving with a great substance.
Right, and see, and that's why people get confused, because then when they read verse 14, Genesis 15, and that's why people start gravitating towards date setting. Well, what happened? 2019 came, August 2019 came. We didn't leave here. That's because people misunderstood what was really going on. That this was not talking about America, and also when it says and also that nation. So let's just say this was applying to America. Then you mean to tell me that wherever everybody else, where our people are scattered to, they're excluded, only America?
All right, so I'm gonna stop right there for a second. Do you brothers got anything to say on what he's saying? You got anything to say?
I said that in the very beginning, and it took him all his time to come up there and say that. And that because at the end of 2019 we didn't come out. Now they got to scramble and do some damage control in his own mind, out of his own, from leaning on his own understanding, thinking that people were going to get it wrong like him. That's all. But like I said, we listened to a dude who said 400 plus 0 equals 430.
Hey, I'm gonna just add on to what Brother Yash is saying. A lot of people believe that we're looking at dates, and we're not looking at dates. We're looking at the signs.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? The Most High said when 400 years are fulfilled, after 400 years, that he's going to bring judgments.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying this for years. After that 400-year mark is fulfilled, after that time is fulfilled, be look for stuff to start looking crazy. Just blatant things happening all around the world. But the Most High said, particularly concerning this place, that the judgment was going to be in 1 hour.
He said something else that I wanted to get at. Let me see if I can pull this up here. And I believe it's in, hold on. I got it. I almost got it. Hold on. So that's in 202 and 204. Okay. All right. So let's pull this up here. 202, 204. Let me see. I thought this was the right one. Oh. Let me see. 202. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So what I'm trying to look up here is the Targums of An-Kilas. Right. So I'm pulling up the Targums of An-Kilas here, and I'm trying to get into Genesis. And I looked there, and it looked like it was 202, but I think this doesn't have I don't think this is Genesis. But just to bring it back, this is what it says in the Targums. It says in page 202 of the Targums, it says, and when the sun was near to set, a deep sleep was thrown upon Abraham, and behold, 4 kingdoms arose to enslave his children. Terror, which is Babel, darkness, which is Madai, Let me. Can you guys see it? Because I know it might look small.
Yeah, I can see it. You can make it just enlarge it a little bit.
You see it. Trying to enlarge it from where I'm at, but zoom in. Okay. How's that?
That's good.
So it says, and when the sun was near to set, a deep sleep was thrown upon Abraham, and behold, 4 kingdoms arose to enslave his children: terror, which is Babel; darkness, which is Madai; greatness, which is Divine; decline, which is Ferris; which is to fall and to have no uplifting, and from whence it is to be that the children of Israel will come up. And he said to Abraham, knowing thou must know that thy sons should dwell in a land not their own, because thou hast not believed, and they will subjugate and afflict them 400 years. And also that people whom they should serve I would judge with 250 plagues, and afterwards they shall go forth into liberty with great riches. Now, this is from the Targum of An-Kilas. I wasn't able to show the exact page right now. I'll try to dig a little bit more before this is over so you guys can see the exact page. But here are some clues on how we're dealing with it. How do we know that this actual era is talking about the 400 years? Now, and it says which is Javan, decline, which is Ferris. Now, Ferris is which is to fall and to have no uplifting. All right, that's Ferris, which is to fall and have no uplifting. Now, when you go into the Jerusalem Targums, it says the same thing, but Ferris is not the same people. This is what it says in the Jerusalem Targums. It says, and when the sun was going to set, a sleep profound and sweet fell upon Abraham. And behold, Abraham saw 4 kingdoms. Remember, he saw 4 kingdoms in Anki last night. He's seeing 4 kingdoms again in Jerusalem Targums, which should arise to bring his sons into subjection. And terror, the greatness of darkness, fell upon him. Terror, that is Babel. Darkness, that is Madai. Greatness, that is Greece. Right? We going through all the kingdoms that Israel was captive to. Last one. Fell. What does that say right there? Fell, that is who? Someone say it.
That's Rome.
Fell, that is who?
Edom, Rome.
Rome.
It says Edom.
Edom. Rome.
Page
that
204.
Kingdom, which is to fall and never to rise again forever and ever. It's the same as it says Ferris, that it will fall and never rise again forever and ever. So that tells us when Abraham was given this prophecy, the Most High did tell him the kingdom that his people would be subjugated to. And he said the final kingdom that he would be subjugated to was Edom. All right? Which is Rome. Right? So the Most High told Abraham who we would be subjugated to. What you notice, you don't see Egypt anywhere there.
At all.
Egypt not mentioned at all over there. You see what I'm saying? So what these brothers lack is a complete understanding of studying the word and how important it is to go into other. I don't got no problem with the KJV. I have no problem. But if you're gonna sit here and you're gonna try to rebuttal and rebuke somebody, you better have more than the KJV under your belt. You better been had gone into the Septuagint at least. How many different books did we bring out? Did we bring out in the 400-year prophecy, True versus Scoffers? Like 7 books that were all corroborating the same thing. You know, they don't got no witnesses. All they got is their interpretation of scripture. And they falling flat on their face with their understanding. Let's keep it moving. Anybody got anything else to say before I do? All right.
Only America, only the captivity is going to end in America. Then that's why you got to compare the scriptures. You can't just pick out one and then try to apply it to something that doesn't fit, because there's a big gap in this. Well, how can when it says and also that nation, how can this be applying to America when our people are scattered to the four corners?
I got a question for these brothers. If they ever have the guts, right, to answer this, right? Who went into slavery by ships? Did all the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, did they both go into slavery by ships?
Nope.
So does that mean that the prophecy don't apply to us then?
But what about the other people?
Yeah, what about the other people? Does that mean they null and void? Absolutely not.
The scriptures got them covered too.
Exactly.
He said the tents of Judah shall be saved first.
Absolutely. Who do we see in the wilderness when we read the Dead Sea Scrolls? We don't see, yeah, exactly. We don't see all the tribes. So these brothers are dealing with an incomplete library of knowledge.
Rightfully so, man. They trying to bring our brothers and sisters from the islands over here to replace us. So now it's not about us that was born here. You know, now it's about the black people that was brought in from other places. They're trying to pass laws for them now. And these are our own brothers and sisters that's overlooking us, coming in from the islands and different places. So it's only right that Judah in America is delivered first.
Brother, help me understand it. I'm trying to get the understanding of that. How is it that when it says that and also that nation, how can that be applied to America when our people are scattered to the four corners?
Yeah, I mean, like in the scriptures it says that. Hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull that up real quick. Let me see. In Matthew, it says that not even Hamashiach knows the day that the Lord is going to send him back. But then mysteriously, y'all have guessed 400 years. I don't understand. I mean, like,
guess.
I'm pretty sure that Hamashiach knows more than every single one of you out there, including myself and Brother Daniel. And he said that he don't know when he's coming back because he doesn't know when the Father said he'll come back. But all of a sudden, now we got people setting 400 dates like they know more than the Lord does. The ignorance, the folly, and the pride of Israel just doesn't stop, man. It just does not stop.
I agree with him on that. The ignorance of some people.
So hold up a second, Brother Boya. So, is he saying that somebody said after the 400 years, Yahushua HaMashiach is coming back?
Yeah. These guys are concocting all this stuff within their head because they're trying to make it fit with their backwards doctrine of Mashiach coming in spaceships to America. So when people talk about we leaving when people say we leaving after 400 years or after the judgment, right? Or they talk about the 400-year prophecy, right?
Right.
These brothers, they're concocting in their mind that Mashiach's coming in 400 years and then we leave.
Oh, well,
that's what their line of thought must be, because he keeps saying Mashiach. Who's saying Mashiach? I want to see the video where somebody said Mashiach comes back in 400 years. That's what I want to see.
Wow.
If you can't find that, that's them making that up in their head. That's
Right.
them trying to. That's him trying to reason within his head without getting rid of that garbage that they got in their head about spaceships coming back. Spaceships coming back to America. There's no new thing under the sun. Most High don't need to send no spaceship to pick nobody up out of America. Then how are we gonna get in the wilderness? Or the spaceship's gonna take us from America, drop us off in the wilderness, and then what? Drop us off in the wilderness for us to be tried in the wilderness, and then for nations to come up against us, and then Mashiach come?
Oh, they're gonna ask us. They're gonna ask us for some gas money.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be like, "Yo, this gas over here, y'all got is too much. We got to get y'all all the way over here to the wilderness of Jerusalem."
Gas $10 a gallon now, so y'all got all them riches.
It wouldn't be so bad if he wasn't so pompous about it, though. You know, if he wasn't so I know it all type about it. You know,
Exactly.
this brother, he's speaking like he know what he's talking about, but it's full of garbage. I'm like, yo, this brother, I couldn't honestly, bro. Like, it's not a good look, bro. You know, these the type of people that they pull up and say, you know, they're connecting our understanding to this when they say camp doctrine. You know, I'm all for my people. This brother don't know what he's talking about, though. He needs to sit down, take a couple of seats, and just learn.
Couple of seats for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, couple of seats for a couple of weeks, and learn, man. Don't even read the book. Let somebody read it to you, so you can understand, you know, how to formulate the correct thoughts.
Exactly. That's why I'm getting ready to put my early AM reading sessions up for in the mornings for that purpose.
Awesome. They free too. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Free.
They free. Come on in, just listen. Listen for a little bit, brother. Don't say nothing. Just listen. Take the do-rag off your head. Take the towel off for a moment. Get your ears uncovered. Get some Q-tips. Get the wax out and listen. Matter of fact, put one finger in one of your ears so it don't go in one ear and out the other.
It'll go back out the same side.
It hit a U-turn. We're going to hit a U-turn in the brother Ed, but yeah. I can tolerate the stuff that he's saying, but for him, man, I don't know what it is about this brother, man, but every word that come out of his mouth, I'm just hearing, it's like I'm in Charlie Brown's land. I don't know. I don't want to be biased, man, but I don't like what it is. I can't hear him.
But if we want to get technical, the Arab slave trade, I don't have it with me, but the Arab, y'all can look that up, but the Arab slave trade started in the early 700s, and you can see the ship routes. And when you see all those routes and everything, that right there, Deuteronomy 28:68 being fulfilled, that already because our people were already scattered via ships. And notice when you're reading Genesis chapter 15, 12 through 16, it doesn't say anything about ships. It doesn't say anything about coming over in ships. All right. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. That happened already. That already happened. Now, yeah, now when the Most High delivers us, we're gonna have a lot of stuff. And we're gonna inherit this.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, bro.
Every turn, man, they disagree with each other. Yo, it's like, okay. he understands that, and that's because it don't make sense. How we gonna get out of here with nothing, man? How we gonna survive in the wilderness? But this guy right here talking about we ain't gonna leave with nothing. Yeah. Oh man.
I knew it.
Oh man, let me finish, man. This is killing.
This earth. But this is not what this is talking about.
Okay,
Now,
Lakia, I mean, you know, just so you see, right? This is in red letters, Israel. Okay, that's in red letters. So this is the words of Hamashiach himself. I'm gonna read Matthew 24. I'm gonna start at 36. It says, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man." That means nobody knows when the Hamashiach is coming back.
Exactly. You see that? When the Hamashiach is coming back. See that? Let's pull that up real quick. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Oh man. Red letters. I dig it. I dig them red letters. Okay. Oh. I put the wrong one. I should have put knoweth. Knoweth no man. I got the O. Look at that.
Okay.
All right, so it's obviously talking, and we went through that on the we went through that in the 400-year prophecies, truth versus scoffers. Now he says, now learn the parable of the fig tree, right? And it says, when his branches is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even the doors. Right? So Mashiach telling you to discern the times, right? He says, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of the day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels in heaven, but my Father only. Right? But then he gives you a sign. He says, but as the day of Noah's were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. All right? So this is talking about the days when Mashiach comes back. It's not talking about us leaving. This is not talking about us not discerning the times that we're living in when the Most High is going to deliver his people. The coming of the Son of Man. That's what it's about. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
And also, look, check this out. It says, immediately after the tribulation in those days shall the sun be done. I'm not going to even go into that. That's for the presentation.
Yep.
I'm leave that alone.
But you know what? Even if, let's say, when we read Romans 9, it says, what if Elohim, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? So even now, we can't say when we know we're going to be delivered.
Exactly.
But what we do know is that 400 years have been fulfilled with us in our time. We have to sit through these judgments.
Absolutely. The Most High gave us a way to understand where we was at. He said 400 years, then the judgment, and then we leave. All right. So what are we seeing right now? We're seeing the judgments playing out. We're seeing the judgments playing out. So all you got to do is gird yourself and prepare to leave. You know? But these brothers keep on saying no man knoweth the time. Abraham knew the time. Most High told him.
He said 400 years.
Exactly. He told Abraham the time. He told him when they was going to leave Babylon in 70 years. All right. So look, brother better get it right, man.
And guess what? Go up and ask the average brother or sister you know on your job or anywhere about the HR 1242 bill and how it's been extended, and if they even know about it and what's the significance behind it, and see what they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to somebody and say, you know, what you know about the HR 1242. They might get offended and think you trying to threaten them. Man, what you know about this AK-47?
Exactly. But we should know about that. We should have our eyes and our ears open and understanding that is something significant. That's not to give credence to them. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High.
No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father. Not even the angels know. But some kind of way, Israel knows that we're going to get delivered in 400 years. Are you serious right now, Israel? You know, and you wonder why brothers are getting shot down in the street and we get killed, the death angels.
See this, and this is why I didn't like listening to this brother, because he's saying the reason why brothers is getting shot down in the streets and stuff now is because we believe in the 400-year prophecy.
Keep coming on our family. We are sitting up here always, you know, on the lower state.
Mm-hmm. And it's getting worse.
Keeping the commandment.
Yeah, it's so people thinking, oh, 2019, the curse is going to be lifted. No, we're going to always be under the curses until the Mashiach comes back.
That's right.
And it's been proven. We see things that are happening right now. We see an increase of the killing of our people. And a lot of people have been getting discouraged, and they're like, why is this happening? You know, I thought, you know, things were supposed to be for the better. I thought the Most High was going to come deliver us, lift the curses. No, brothers and sisters, we just getting started. You know, we're just getting into the Jacob's time of trouble. It's going to start increasing. It's going to get worse. We got to go through that. We got to get that work. We got to go through that fire.
Now, and not only that, right? Let's say, for example, like some of the times that we see days in the scripture or in the last days, how do you know that last days aren't thousands of years? You don't know, because it says that one day to the Lord is 1,000 years on earth. You know, just like, you know, a lot of Christians don't understand that Adam died within that same day.
Let me ask you, brothers, a question. How long has it been since Mashiach was crucified?
Not even 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at something. All right, so Hosea 61 says, and I agree with him, one day is 1,000 years to the Most High, right? So the scripture says, come and let us return unto the Most High. For he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. And in the third day, he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. All right, so that's roughly around 3,000 years when we live in the Most High sight. So that's talking about the millennial reign and everything. All right. Now, after 2 days, he will raise us up. Now my belief is that we've been Mashiach was crucified a little bit over 2,000 years, and right now he's reviving us. Right. This is the valley of dry bones coming to life right now, and that's where we're at. We're in the second day. All right. The Mashiach going to come within this second day, right? And then after Mashiach returns, and then the nations are deceived again, and after that's in the third day. That's when Mashiach is ruling in the third day, the millennial reign, 1,000 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says in the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. All right. Did these 3 days encompass everything that we're seeing right now? Right? We're in the second day though right now. I don't know if anybody understand what I'm saying right now, but
I do. And I
you
think
understand?
I understand, and I think when you ask about the crucifixion, I was thinking about 70 AD. If you subtract that from where we are now, you'll get about 1900 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So if you add about another 50 years or so to that, you're looking at the crucifixion.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at about a little over 2,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now I got what you're saying, Brother Banya. But you know what? You know what happens? You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna take that beautiful scripture you just read in Hosea, and they're gonna apply that to Hamashiach.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna apply that to Jesus, right? And they're gonna say, Jesus, you know, is in the grave, and on the third day he rose, and that's what Hosea was talking about, right? There's a spiritualization of everything. Now, I'm not saying that that's, you know, the scripture in the Hosea is not a picture, you know. It could very well be. It could very well be a picture of Hamashiach being risen from the dead. It could very well be, but it's also natural. He's speaking about a people. Hosea is speaking plainly. He's speaking from Yah plainly.
Well, you have to read that in unison with Ezekiel and the dry bones, just like Devian Murphy is saying. So you have to read that in unison with that, you know, precept upon precept, line upon line. So yeah, exactly. And the sister right there on it's the birth of a nation. Absolutely.
And not only that, when the scriptures is speaking of prophesying of the Messiah, it's prophesying in the singular of him. It's talking about he will grow up as a plant, a virgin shall bring forth a child. His name shall be called Wonderful, Mighty Counselor, the Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. But this one says, after 3 days, he will revive us. So there's no way. You're right, Brother Hal. They will try to spiritualize it, but there's no way you could do it if you're reading it contextually, because the us is not he.
And then it goes on to say, it says, "O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as the morning cloud, and as the early dew, it goeth away." So this is the Most High talking. He's talking and telling them. Like, so you know, if the Most High give you eyes to see certain things, man, you can't unsee it after that sometimes, man. And I seen this a while ago, man, and I was like, yo, the valley, it just came to, yo, all praise to the Most High, man. You know, all I can say is all praise to the Most High, because a lot of people can't grasp it. They can't grasp it, you know? Amen. But thank him for giving us the eyes to see that, you know? May the Most High continue to help these brothers and their eyes to open up, man. Right now, man, they got to get the code out their eyes, though, right now. You know what I mean? They waking up, man. All praise to Most High. These brothers understand who they are, man. And they, you know, they laboring in the scriptures to try to understand to a certain degree, but there's some things they need to remove some things out of there, man. There's some things that's error that they need to get rid of, but let's continue listening.
He disobeyed the Lord in the garden. It said you will die the same day. Now he lived only 730 years. That's why he didn't make it to 1,000, which is one whole day. That's why no man on the earth has ever lived one whole day. It's because Adam messed it up. And just like the Lord told him, he didn't live not one day. Back in those days, when the time frame for life and things of that nature was nothing and how finite as it is now. Because it says that now our life appeareth as a vapor that fadeth away. You know, our life is nothing but a vapor because of sin, right? Because of the disobedience in the Garden of Eden. So our days, Israel, you just have to be patient, right? We just have to be patient. We've been living a long time. roughly a little over 6,000 years according to the scriptures, and we see that humanity is on a decline. We got so-called Esau out there. He's the first he's the first race to lose his melanin. And now he's running around as an albino, and now, man, he's so depleted that he's.
Nah, I don't believe that Esau is an albino.
Oh wow.
He's running around as a. Did this brother know what an albino is?
Oh wow.
Nah, Esau is not an albino.
Wow.
But that's another story.
That he stopped producing, and so.
Wait a minute, he stopped producing. All right, okay.
So now they're they're pushing this mixed agenda and all this other stuff to try to boost, bolster their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that we are close to the end, but we don't know how close, Israel.
That's right.
It took over 6,000 years to get to this lower state. How much more life, do we have? You might not see it in your lifetime. We might, but we can't rush. We have to read the scriptures, and we have to keep these commandments. We just can't skip to the, skip to the kingdom.
It's funny to me how brothers, when you don't agree with them, it's like you trying to rush, and you trying to rush. Listen, bro, ain't nobody rushing anything. Everything's done on the Most High's time. How many times you heard the brothers that saw the earth say, fly out the country and try to go into Israel? How many times you heard us say that? We don't speak no or teach no flea doctrines or anything like that. If you want to go to another country and you want to live there, hey, fine. But don't try to do it according to anything, any prophecy that you determine, like, oh yeah, this prophecy say that I should fly to Belize and live there. We never taught that. I'll continue.
All of a sudden, fast forward there, we have a lot of affliction, a lot of pain, a lot of racial wars and tensions and things of that nature.
Wait a minute.
Melanin, now he's running around as an albino, and now, man, he's so depleted that he's that he stopped producing. And so now they're they're pushing this mixed agenda and all this other stuff to try to boost, bolster their numbers. Mm-hmm. So we know that we are close to the end, but we don't know how close, Israel.
That's right.
It took over 6,000 years to get to this lower state. How much more life, do we have? You might not see it in your lifetime. We might, but we can't rush. We have to read the scriptures, and we have to keep these commandments. We just can't skip to the, skip to the kingdom. All of a sudden, fast forward there. We have a lot of affliction, a lot of pain, a lot of racial wars and tensions and things of that nature that has to come.
So this stuff, that stuff hadn't been happening to us already. We haven't been going through racial wars. We haven't been going through afflictions. We haven't been going through pain.
Yeah, I think they looking forward to that.
That brother ain't looking forward to that. He don't know what he's talking about. That's all.
Yeah, he don't know what he's talking about.
He think he know what he's talking about, but he don't know what he's talking about. I would like to ask this brother, what is supposed to happen in Jacob's trouble that has not happened to us already? And I'll sit back and let him answer that.
Right.
He'll talk about
people that gotta keep.
So what?
Talk about we're getting our heads chopped off for the testimony.
That happened already too, man.
I know
already.
Listen, man, it was even worse than that.
The faith, they're going to get persecuted. Heads going to get chopped off. Wars and they got all kinds of stuff coming on. You can't run.
Yeah, and check this out too. So people are looking at, well, what about all these plagues that they call them the plagues? What about all the stuff that's happening? What about the coronavirus? What about this? What about that? Is that not the Most High's judgment? I'm gonna tell you something. When the Most High judgment happens, the whole world is going to know it. These are the workings of men. The Bible says that the world will be given into the hands of the wicked, and the Most High is going to allow them to do their dirt. And also, Matthew says,
he said, when the Most High, the whole world is going to know. Did not COVID hit the whole world?
The whole world knew.
The whole world. When Eric Garner got killed, did the riots not hit the whole world?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know what though? I would like to know what scripture you got that say the whole world gonna regard it as such. Huh? Which that's what I would like. Let me see if I can grab something.
First Baptist 26:19.
Yep. You said what was that?
First Baptist.
First Baptist.
I ain't never read that book, brother Yash.
First Baptist. First Niggerinthians. Chapter 5. Tell you, boy.
There's a scripture that said they wouldn't even they didn't where is it? I don't know how to spell. Man.
Look at the brother Humble's comment. He say, I wonder if these brews ever read the book, The Delectable Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Did I spell that right?
What scripture?
All right, so here it is, Isaiah 47:7. It says, the Most High said this. He says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hands. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very, very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidst, I should be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. What is the Most High talking about it? The Most High is talking about you didn't remember what happened to Egypt. You didn't remember what happened to Babylon. You didn't remember that what happened to all these other people that touched the apple of my eye. You didn't lay these things to heart. You didn't consider when the plagues was coming, what happened to Egypt when the plagues came. No, the whole earth didn't know. The whole earth didn't regard the things that the Most High was doing until it was too late. He says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. Why is the Most High saying that?
Wow.
He's saying it again. Therefore, hear now this, thou that giveth to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Wow.
I should not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Right? Let me finish reading this. But these two things shall come upon thee, will come to thee. In the moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They should come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for their great abundance of thy enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
Hold on, brother boy. Hold on. You read, come back, where it says, mischief shall arise upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it arise.
Where is it?
You just read it.
All right, so it says, wait a minute. It said, trust in thy wickedness, wisdom, and it said, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises.
So wait a minute.
So everybody's supposed to know, though.
So we supposed to be a light to them.
Supposed to be a light to this. Nah, the Most High said they ain't gonna know where it's coming from, where the plagues and the wrath coming from. But he's saying, but this brother's saying that they gonna know where it's coming from. He's saying the whole world gonna know. That's not what the scriptures say. He said, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation should come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thy enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, when thou hast labored from thy youth. If it be so, if it be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art weary with the multitude of thy counsel. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers and the monthly procrastinators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be a stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even the merchants from thy youth. They shall wander everyone to his quarter. None shall save thee. That's talking about everybody leaving this place. Everybody scattering and leaving this place. Ain't nobody gonna try to save this place. They ain't gonna know where it come from. Why? Because they did not consider what they was doing when they touched the Most High's people. I was wroth with my people and have polluted my inheritance and given them over into thy hands. Thou didst not show them no mercy. But these people know, though. They supposed to know. These brothers need to read the scriptures, man. It don't say that everybody gonna know where it's coming from. They're gonna equate it to whatever they're equating it to, whether it be the corona, whether it be the blood in the water that you see all over the place, water turning blood red, whether it be the pestilence, whether it be the wars and rumors of wars. They're going to equate it to the Most High to the very end when they see his people coming out. That's when they're going to equate it.
Right.
But they ain't going to see all these judgments and be like, oh, yeah, this because they hold the children of Israel. Nah. To the Most High, make them let us go, and then they see us leaving. Then they can be like, oh. And that's when you get the scripture that's in the Apocrypha. When it says, then should the man stand with great boldness. Let me grab that too, let me grab that too. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Then should a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. It's talking about us. And made no accounts of his labors.
Be a light to them.
Be a light to them. They don't consider anything, right? They don't make accounts of your labors, right? Your forefathers was enslaved here, but we don't got to account that. No, we don't need to give you reparations. When they see it, they should be troubled with terrible fear and should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all that they look for, right? Because why? Christianity always tells you got to die to get saved. Your salvation comes after you die. You go to heaven after you die. No, the Most High said he's going to deliver us out of the land of our captivity and give us the land that he promised our forefathers and give us the riches and the gold and give us all the things and wipe away our tears. Right? That's far beyond that what they look for. They're looking for us to die and then receive something.
Wow.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit should say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision, and a proverb of reproach. Are we not a proverb and a reproach amongst these people? Right? These were slaves, these were niggers. It was nothing to us. These were the people that we scorned and we ridiculed all the whole time. And these are the people that we supposed to be saving. We supposed to be a light to these people. What does the scriptures say though? The scripture said it would say, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. You trying to save a people that think that you can't even equate to them. They saying your end gonna be without honor, but you want to save that. Oh, their end gonna be without honor. In a couple of years, we won't be worth anything. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Utterly stunned of who we are. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us. Why? Because they didn't come to the light. You telling me we supposed to be a light to these people? They must come to the light. We don't go to them, they come to us, and they chosen not to.
Hey, but Cornelius did though.
Yeah, Cornelius did, right? And if you do your studies, you know who he was too. You know?
I was trying to be lenient, man.
You know? Man, listen, man. Brothers need to study, man. They say stuff, man, and they start running. Yo, a lot of times we say stuff, man, but we ain't gonna never sit up here and do a teaching and have just like assertions coming out of our mouths. Let's get the rest of it. Let's see what else he got to say.
That there will be pestilence. With his pestilence, you're gonna see a lot of increase of insects, locusts, all kind of stuff, sickness, disease.
Have we not seen that? Have we not seen pestilence? Can I show you rats and everything overrunning Australia? Can I show you locusts and everything eating up stuff? And locusts all in Vegas? Can I show you images of water turning blood red all over the earth? Didn't Mashiach say these things was going to happen? Do you believe him? Wars and rumors of wars?
But we're going to get back to that. But let's go ahead and finish this out, because the point that I really want to make what this whole lesson is about the fourth generation. And that's what I want to do. So let's finish. Let's read verse 15 in Genesis 15. I'll read that. And it says, "And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age." Now, this is talking about Abraham right here. So, of course. Then 16, it goes on to say, "But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not full." So I asked a question earlier. I said, who believes that in order for this to be talking about America, then we would have to believe that we are the fourth generation? That's the only way. Now, brother, I want you to look at this. Now, is there any other way that we can see this? If this is America, that means we would really have to be the fourth generation, right?
God, absolutely.
That would mean that reading this. Now, if we are the fourth generation, look, I can agree with this, and I will announce right here that, hey, I made a mistake, I misread. But the Bible don't say that. So let's go find out what generation we actually are in, and how many generations actually passed from Abraham. Because remember, it started with Abraham. We got to remember that. It started with Abraham. All right, so let's go to Matthew.
Chapter 1. Y'all read it so much. Everybody has read it before.
Go ahead and turn to Matthew chapter 1 and verse 17.
Get the band-aids, get the first
Matthew,
aid.
time to get there, because I want y'all to see this. Matthew chapter 1. Now, if everybody who's been doing this thing on the 400 years, I have not heard one person touch this. Not one. Not one. Even the ones who claim to prove that this is talking about America. did not touch this part right here. Because this right here tells you that Genesis 15 was not talking about America. So let's look at verse 17. It says, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. Now let me read that again. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. So that means that from Abraham to David, that means 14 generations has passed. Now, ask yourself the question, Zion, where would the fourth generation fall? Who was the fourth generation from Abraham? Because remember, it said in Genesis, we read in Genesis that it said in the fourth generation that they shall see it again, right? So that means that Abraham's seed will be the one who would have to sojourn, serve the Egyptians, and be afflicted by the Egyptians, right?
Right. That's right.
Where would that fourth generation be?
Go to Matthew chapter 1, verse 2, Israel, and let's count. Let's count together. Who's going to be the fourth generation and who was in captivity those 400 years? Now, it already said from, just like Brother Daniel brought out that in verse 17, that all the way up to Hamashiach, that was 14 generations. So it's impossible for us to be in the fourth generation now. So we can't add into the word. We got to read the scriptures just like it is, because just like it says, there's no special interpretation of the word. We have to read it just like it is. If everybody were to read the scriptures just like it is and stop making up their own doctrine and adding their own stuff into the scriptures, we'll all be on one accord. But for some reason, Israel can't seem to do that. So we're going to go to verse 2, Matthew chapter 1 and verse 2. Brother, could you read that, please? And let's count.
Okay, Matthew 1 and verse 2?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Abraham begot Isaac.
That's 1.
And Isaac begot Jacob.
And that's 2.
And Jacob begot Judah and his brethren.
Yeah, Khan. So Abraham, Slakia, you start with Abraham. So Abraham is 1, Isaac is 2, Jacob is 3, and the fourth generation is Judah and his brethren.
Hey, you know something?
Get the Band-Aids out, bro.
You know something? I'm really sitting here trying to really see it the way they see it, bro. But I understand why you said don't play with knives.
You can't make this up.
He just cut himself right there. So you just admitted that Judah and them was the fourth generation, right? Now let's grab some scripture. Just what we gonna, because that's how we do, right? Let's get it. Let's get the scripture.
Don't do it, y'all.
Right?
Cuts hurt, man.
All right, so let's get it. So remember the scripture said, let me go back to Genesis first though, because we got to get something straight real quick. All right. All right, so y'all can see the screen?
Yep.
All right. So it says in Genesis 12, it says, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, a heart of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed should be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age, but in the fourth generation they shall come hither. What that mean? What that hither mean?
To wherever Abraham was.
To wherever Abraham was. That's the fourth generation. Fourth generation should come to wherever Abraham was, right? All right, so for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full, right? Now, the brother got an excellent lesson on the iniquity of the Amorites, but I digress. Let's go back to what this brother was saying. he said that Judah in them was the fourth generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Judah would include Joseph, right? Joseph was his brother, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So now it says in Exodus 1:6, and Joseph died in all that what?
That generation.
In all that generation, right? So if Joseph and all that generation died, man, that and they was the fourth generation. That generation, this generation, was obviously not the fourth generation that he was talking about going back into the land.
Brother, I was laughing at, man.
No, because brother Bonnier just put that there, man. That wasn't there. That's not in the scripture. You just wrote that.
Hilarious, bro. Yo, man, little kids should not play with knives, man. Could you cut yourself, man? You cut yourself.
Oh,
Don't
man.
play with knives, man. Oh my goodness, bro.
But yo, he was right about something. He was right. He did say that nobody could prove to him that was the fourth generation, and he's right about that. He's right.
And it's now one thing we can understand is generations. They obviously come in increments because Enoch was the seventh from Adam. So what these brothers need to do is to determine when those increments start over. All right. Now we don't like I said, man. The burden of proof is on them to prove that it happened. You know, that's where the burden of proof lies. But they just cut themselves with that. You know. What were you talking about, man? Like you just cut, and he's saying it with a straight face and not even understanding. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes brothers be so focused on trying to prove that you're incorrect. They don't even understand when they've proven themselves to be wrong. You just cut yourself.
Got his hand all open like he just.
Yeah, man. We need to get like some gauze and wrap all this up right here. It's crazy, man. Don't you see the blood on your hand, brother? You're bleeding. Crazy, bro. Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious. Hold on. Let me finish these brothers out. Because they don't got much more to say after this. The rest is just like typical interjection.
Yep. Which were sojourned in Israel at that time because brother Israel, he had died. He had died he had died there.
Oh, you know what? Oh, one more thing. Oh, I wanted to show this also. I didn't show this because we pulled that up, but there was a little bit more after that. Because what you notice what happened after that. It said, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we. Come and let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and come to pass. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. This is key to understanding, because when you count them the amount of years that they had left to sojourn in Egypt, it was way less than 400 years left. All right. So that tells you that the affliction didn't last 400 years. But furthermore, you know, even the sojourning of them dwelling in Egypt was not 400 years. Just that alone, you know, because when Joseph died, you know, no way.
Especially if you counting from the time Joseph and the 70 souls entered into Egypt.
Exactly.
Possible.
Exactly. So it's impossible for them to have been dwelling there for over 400 years, or 400 years at the very least. They couldn't have been dwelling there even that long. You know, but as we you know, as we have in our other videos, we did all the breakdowns of that, how long they sojourned in Egypt, how long they sojourned in Canaan. You know, we got all that information, and it was nowhere near 400. It was like 215 years that they dwelt in each land all together. So you split that sojourning from Canaan in Egypt, 215 in Canaan, 215 in Egypt, which tells you 400 years of affliction is impossible. But they already admitted that, right?
Right. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't afflicted 400 years.
Mm-hmm. But they still started the sojourn in that 400 years in here. This guy's been teaching all this time, and he don't know that the Septuagint is more accurate than that. He been teaching all this time and don't know that. I doubt it.
And what generation went into Egypt? Did not Joseph's brothers go into Egypt to live with their brother?
Con.
Yep.
And that's Judah and his brethren, which is the 4th generation. You can't get around it.
No, you can't.
So if they went into
you said
Egypt,
it, you can't get around it.
if they went into Egypt, that means they couldn't have returned or come back to where Abraham was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
That's
get
just
it.
how it is.
So what, bro?
I said, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's impossible to get wrong.
Yeah, and see, and that's right there, and that's one of the things I nobody will not touch. No one. I have not heard no one bring this out. No one. Everybody who's applying Genesis 15 and Acts 7:6 to America have not touched this. Not even bring this out. So
Not only that,
let's go down to 17. So it says all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David unto the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. So if you add all that up, that's like what 42?
God.
I think yes, 42.
That's a lot of generations that's passed by. Y'all come up, we still in the 4th generation.
Now that's just to Mashiach's generation. 42. So how in the world can we be the 4th generation? Now, if you add, because it's like 1,000 years, so it's like 14 generations per 1,000 years, right? You really add it up.
Yeah, roughly.
Now, if you add another 14 years, and then another 14 generations, and another 14 generations times 2, then that will put us roughly around the 70th generation. If you really think about it.
That's correct. This should not even be a doctrine, because you're directly going against what Hamashiach said. For you to go against Hamashiach and to act like you know more than the Lord and say, well, there's a 400-year prophecy.
No, nobody's acting like they know more than the Most High. We just believe we know more than you.
Says when the Lord coming back, when in the scriptures, out of his own mouth, he says he don't know when he's coming back. Obviously, you got to read.
Hey, question: why do brothers do that, man? Why do brothers act like you disagreeing with what you disagreeing with the Most High? Why do brothers do that all the time, man?
Because, man, that's just a way of putting themselves in an upper hand above you, so you don't disagree.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Or challenge what they say.
Yeah, that's weird, bro. It's kind of weird, man. Like that's cult action, man. That's just trying to get a cult going.
Yeah.
I'm unfathomable. You disagree with me, you disagree with the Lord. Nah, brother. I disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm not against the Most High revealing things in certain ways to certain people, but it can't go against what he had written.
Exactly.
He said his word would endure forever.
Exactly. All right. They're going to cut themselves again, watch. I guarantee you.
You look at that scripture and be like, nah, I obviously got that wrong. Let me go ahead and read it again, because Hamashiach himself said he don't know when we're getting delivered. I mean, like, how hard is this? Why make it so hard?
So he putting words in Mashiach's mouth. Mashiach didn't say he don't know when he getting delivered. He said he don't know when he's returning. Two different things.
I don't understand. Just keep it and just read the scriptures as it is. Stop adding stuff onto it, and then we're gonna get there, Israel. We're gonna get there all together, and it's real simple.
That's it. We got to be focused on these. We got to be focused on these laws, commandments, and statutes. And that's the problem. Too many of our people are focusing on dates. When are we gonna get out of here? When are we gonna get out of here? That's all I get. When are we gonna get out of here? Look, we don't know. We're all tired. We're tired of this place, you know, and we all want to get out of here. But it's not left up. It's not left up to us, Zion. So we gotta be patient. We gotta focus on these laws. And the Bible said, "I cry until I come."
Amen.
You know why they asking when we gonna get out of here? Is because, you know, that's just like the bad kid. You know, you just want to start doing right when somebody watching, when you know you was about.
How did just here we go. Now this is why this is offensive right here. But we need to hear this. Let's see his perspective on why we want to get out of here. Yeah.
Brother,
that's it. We gotta be focused on these. We gotta be focused on these laws, commandments, and statutes. And that's the problem. Too many of our people are focusing on dates. When are we gonna get out of here? When are we gonna get out of here? That's all I get. When are we gonna get out of here? Look, we don't know. We're all tired. We're tired of this place, you know, and we all want to get out of here. But it's not left up. It's not left up to us, Zion. So we gotta be patient. We gotta focus on these laws. And the Bible said, "I cry until I come."
You know why they asking when we gonna get out of here? Is because, you know, that's just like the bad kid. You know, you just want to start doing right when somebody watching, when you know you was about to receive something. It's not. You have to be doing the righteous thing when nobody is looking. You know, because it's the hard thing to do. You know, is to keep these commandments. You can't just be ready to go. The Lord, you're not gonna go nowhere with that kind of spirit. I guarantee you, you're not gonna make it.
No, because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're going to get weary. You're gonna get impatient. You're going to get complacent, and you're gonna be like, man, ain't nothing happening. Man, this thing ain't real. This truth ain't real. You know, and that's the problem. Look, we're not throwing a wrench in anybody's faith. You know, we're just giving you the facts. We're giving you the reality of things, Zion.
That's messed up.
And we don't know how long we're going to be here. And I've heard some people even say now they're pushing it to August 2021 or August. Yeah, this month, August 20th.
I think they're trying to just tell.
So when one date fails, people always try to push it back. Next thing you know, it's going to be 2021. It's going to be 2022, 2023. It's not going to stop, Zion. People are going to continue to get false hopes, get false dates. Now we know we're going to be delivered, and now don't throw no stones at me, but we don't know. It could be another 20 years, 10 years. We do not know, Zion. And these things going on. Don't be fooled about what's going on. You know, this is just the beginning.
And you know something.
And with the spirit you got, Israel, we ain't ready to go.
What's that?
You know something, even if we are here another 10, 20 years, you still can't prove 400 years of affliction in ancient Egypt.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna be here that long, but even if we
I don't either.
You know,
but even if we can be here another 100 years, you still can't prove 400 years of affliction in ancient Egypt. And our whole point was that the Most High said that after 400 years, then the judgments would come.
Yeah.
This is what you see happening.
Yeah.
You know, the Lord died for us. So just like he had proved Isaac, you know, and just like he wrestled Jacob all day, just like he proved Isaac to put his son on the altar. Man, we got to be ready to die for this. If you're not ready to die for the Lord, you best believe that when it comes to time to to choose his people, you know, those that have been keeping the commandments, man, he's gonna be like, I never knew you. You got to be ready to die for the Lord, just like he died for you. That's what he's looking for. He's not looking for somebody that just ready to hurry up and, Lord, hurry up and come back so I can get my gift and I can live forever. Nah, man, you got to put in work like he did. Man, you think he wanted to die for us? No, man, just imagine what it took for the Lord to die.
Yeah.
Man, the Most High had to take a spirit
The Most High wanted us to die. He would have never died for us.
from him.
You know what I'm saying? If the Most High was looking for us to die, why would he die for us?
Wow.
Tell you, man, that's that glory in the struggle mentality, man.
Wow.
Think about it.
That's the most vulnerable that the Son of God has ever been in all of existence.
Yeah.
And he did that for what? Remember, he cried blood. He was sweating blood. He didn't want to do that, but he did that for us.
Yep.
But he did that for us, and you trying to hurry up and get up out of here, and you barely went through anything. Man, none of you brothers and sisters have gone through the pain and the turmoil and the rape, rob, and murdering and the buck breaking of our brothers and sisters back in our ancestors. Ain't none of y'all did that. Y'all are complling.
So we gotta go.
It's the same Israel that
he
was
want to go through it
40
now.
years ago.
He want to be
Man,
buck breaking now.
Y'all should have asked him, do you want to go through it?
Yeah, you want.
Do you want to go through it?
Speak for
You want to
yourself,
go
brother.
through the buck breaking and stuff? Hey. All right, then. You know what I mean? You could have that lot.
Hey, fair use.
Fair use. Yeah. Woo.
Critiquing purposes.
Man. What are these brothers doing? What are you doing to himself, man?
Man. You want to be the delectable Negro, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You want to be the delicacy.
From heaven, and then got the nerve to complain about that. And y'all, Lord, please send me some quail. Lord, send me back to Egypt, back to the flesh pots. Man, Israel's become weak, stagnant. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. No,
It's
it's true. We got to come out of that, and that's the problem. And already, because of people, spreading these false dates, we're going to be delivered out of here and everything. Many people has lost their faith over this stuff. When August 2019 came, a lot of people, and I noticed a drop in people who were coming on our pages, but because people were caught up
People
in a
were
date,
tired of them discouraging people.
happen.
That's what it was.
They got weary and fell off the mark. But this faith is not for the weary. It's not for the faint heart. I'm just gonna be straight up with you because we're gonna have to endure some serious stuff, Zion. And when these years passes by, people are gonna begin to wonder, are we truly the people of the Most High? Are we truly the chosen? Yeah, people are gonna doubt. You're gonna start doubting yourself, and that's where the rubber is gonna meet the road. And that's where the valley of decisions are going to be made. You're gonna man up, you're gonna woman up, and you're gonna stay strong. You're gonna stay in the Word, focus on these laws, commandments, and statutes. Right now, as sinful as we are, we shouldn't even be. Matter of fact, we shouldn't even be asking the Most High to come back right now. Because if the Most High were to come back right now, you think we would be ready?
But our ancestors is asking how long.
The would just perish.
What?
What do you mean ready? We got to be careful. The Most High is.
Yeah.
These are people who know they have enough beans and rice stacked up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So they saying we have to get ready to endure and keep these laws and eat these canned goods.
Yeah, they prepped. They prepped up.
Exactly.
Eat these canned goods.
Eat these canned goods and bush beans and dry black eyed peas. I can go for some black eyed peas though.
Ooh, yeah.
Man.
But that's what it is. It sounds like, the voice of some preppers. As if like you're gonna go somewhere and hide out. And like the Most High can't burn up where you at. You know
honestly,
what I mean?
man, this right here is the extent of the edification right here. It's really nothing else they're saying except for like, they just really just They're not saying anything of substance.
But look, if we're gonna be eating black eyed peas and canned goods, then we got to get our kids and stuff prepped for that. Because that means no more Capri Suns.
Yeah, for real. No more cold cereal.
No more Cheetos.
So what say you, brothers, man? Are you convinced, man? Are you convinced, brothers?
Yeah, I'm convinced. I'm convinced that you know, I'm convinced. Not of what they believe. I'm convinced. Oh, yeah, they convinced me that they should not even be teaching. I'm convinced that some of our people are so off that that the Most High has to come. I'm convinced that we have so many teachers like this within our within this awakening that the Most High has to come, because like he said, if those days weren't shortened, no flesh. Also listen to these people, because they have you so depressed. Everybody be done shot their own heads off, man.
Yeah, true. That's
terrible.
Yeah, Aqua made a good point here. You don't have to sexually assault a man to buck break him. A lot of our men are meant to be buck broken and don't even know it. Amen. True. That's true. The thing is, man, as I'm sitting back listening to these brothers, man, it's like when the Most High's word is a double-edged sword for a reason. All right, because if you got the spirit of the Most High on you, man, a lot of times, man, if you make a mistake and you cut yourself, man, you realize that you cut. You know what I mean? These brothers sitting there, they're getting cut and they not even realizing they cutting themselves. And I'm like, yo, man, do you just not see how you just cut yourself? Or but then there's the ability to discern what you're reading comprehension, and they mentioned that, but yet they didn't have it. You seen where it said that they would come hither, but then you see and you read the fourth generation didn't come hither, and it doesn't dawn to you that you just cut yourself. That was the fourth generation, and they didn't come hither.
Hey,
all right, here go. Hey, I'm gonna let. Hey, I don't know, brother Cleo's still there, man, but I'm gonna let brother Cleo answer this one right here, man.
Yeah, I'm still here, man. I'm just listening, just sitting back.
Brother Cleo, this question right here for you, man.
Go ahead. Question: do anyone else think the rapture can happen? Why you do me like this, man? You bring foolishness to my desk. Okay. Now I'll read with Prince the concept. Question: do anyone else think the rapture can happen on the Passover just like the Father freed us from Egypt? Okay, so first of all, the rapture is something that some heathen Peckerwood created for the sake of distracting our people. So you can get the rapture out of your mind. Now, the Father is going to do some things with Mashiach where he gathers his people, but the rapture is not what they think. The rapture is when, okay, so let's look at the precept where it says where one is gathered and one is taken. What do you think that taken means? That taken means somebody gonna die. So you got a situation where when Mashiach come back, Mashiach is not coming back to hand out flowers. He's not giving out parting gifts, nor is he giving you presents. According to the book, he's coming back for war. So the next time you see him, make sure that you align with his law, statutes, and commandments. You doing what he's saying to do according to what the book says. Otherwise, you're gonna wind up on the wrong side. I wouldn't be looking for no rapture that Hal Lindsey brought to you with the Left Behind doctrine, because that's something that the heathens made up. That's a whole made up construct. Because you can't even find rapture in the book. You equate the phrase catching away to the rapture. Come on now, Israel, we passed the rapture, right? I mean, didn't Berean address the rapture? He did, because I mentioned, somebody had mentioned, hey, you believe in that was that Kirk Tinsdale, or what's that dude that used to play on Growing Pains? He's now a pastor.
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, Kirk Cameron. Yeah, he with that Kirk Cameron Left Behind series. Kirk Cameron gonna get you locked up in hell. That's what's gonna happen. You follow behind, waiting for somebody to come back and save you. You better be keeping these law, statutes, and commandments. Point blank. And that's the book. That's not me. Question: do anyone else think the rapture can happen on the Passover? Now, I did hear a this white evangelical that I listened to just for entertainment purposes. I listened to him, and what you see happening now is there's a transformation of them taking on. They listen to our people talk, and then they go back and they say, "Well, we need to do this too. We need to start interjecting pieces of the Bible and how the so-called Jewish people do it. So let's look at the Passovers. Let's look at the feast, and let's see how the feast align with the book, so that we can understand what's happening prophetic wise, because we're losing our nation. Because at the end of the day, these people don't care about the book. They don't care about the Father. They only care about the nation America and the red, white, and blue."
On another line of thinking, I'll say this much: do I believe that the Passover has any significance when it comes to our being delivered out of Babylon or America? I think to a certain extent it may have some significance. But you got to remember also a lot of the things that we did in Egypt before our deliverance, like the blood on the post of the doors from the lamb, the sacrificial lamb. Every one of us have the blood on us concerning that because Mashiach died for us. So we're covered by that blood, which is a semblance of the blood on the doorpost that allowed the death angel to pass those who had that blood on them. You see what I'm saying? So, there may be some significance to the Passover in the deliverance out of the land of our captivity.
I was going to bring something out later dealing with the timing of it. It's something in the scrolls dealing with the Day of Atonement and how the Most High is going to redeem us and deliver us during that time. But I'll deal with that.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to check that out. Yeah, the brother's always dropping some good information on the channel, man. As if all the other brothers also do the same. Make sure you brothers tune in for Kingdom Conversation this Wednesday. The brother has a good show coming up on that. Would you brief us a little bit on that, Brother Cleo?
Yeah. And I'll drop you guys the link so that you guys can join and chime in. So basically, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at America's morality. We're going to dissect that a little bit, because America has been deemed the moral, they'll call it the moral right, or the moral compass of the whole earth. Now, to those on the panel and to those in the chat, of course, that doesn't make sense. But how were they able to accomplish this? But then, too, how were they able to spread across the whole earth their mythology and process of thinking, and also how they deal with us, right? And then we're going to attempt to tie that in with Glad Putin. Now, reason why I call him Glad, because you guys familiar with Vlad TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Crunchy Back called him Glad, so that's why I call Vladimir Putin Glad. So he's Glad Putin, right? And so here's a question that I have for everybody on the panel and everybody that's in the chat. Now, knowing that Putin is a Orthodox Christian, and do some research. What does Putin believe who he is? What does Putin believe about his nation? And does he buy into the eschatology that it's a Gog Magog thing? Or is he Gog? Is he Magog? Is he God? Or is it something that is beyond that? Or is he is he trying to fulfill prophecy with what he's doing?
Nah,
so go ahead. We'll get into a little bit of that.
Yeah. I was gonna say I spoke on it a couple of times where Putin believes that they're in the Bible, and that their mission is to destroy Babylon. He actually said that we're going to
Okay.
destroy America.
Oh, okay. So I'm not going to.
I'm meddling with your word. Let me stop.
No, Yash. I will make sure that I send the brothers out the link, and all the brothers can join in and chime in. But that's something that a lot of people are not aware of, nor are they aware of the song that that the Russians have, where they talk about where they're going to do what they do while the Negroes are sleeping. Now, here's the problem. The problem with that is that the Negroes in America are actually awake now. So now their timing is off. So they doing a
we was asleep then.
Yeah. So I'll send that link out before the day of the show or something, and all you brothers can chime in. But yeah, Yash, that's a critical point, because nobody's connecting the dots with, okay, Putin is saying that he's going after the Nazis, right? Okay, so is he lying or is Biden lying, or are they both lying?
Both of them lying. They
Okay,
lying.
Lying to their teeth.
Well, who taught them lying? Who taught the Nazis?
Hey man, the book say they are their father, the devil.
Exactly. Who taught the Nazis? It also says, is this the man?
But wait a minute, you asked a good question, and we're gonna delve into that a little bit, because the question that you just asked right there, that dovetails into America's morality. Because how is it that the Nazis said that, okay, you know how we learned to treat the Jews this way is because we learned how the Americans treated the Negro. But I'm gonna stop right there, because now we get into. But yeah, I definitely want to. And all the brothers is welcome to join on the show. You know, I want all you brothers in there, because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, this was a bomb show though. I haven't been on in a minute. I'm like, man, this is what I've been missing. This is what it is. And quiet as kept. I'm sitting back listening and watching, and I didn't make my peace with the brothers who did the video. They should probably get some more seasoning and study a little bit more from a historical perspective too, because if you do that, that's going to change the way that you approach things. Because they didn't sound like they've been, number one, teaching a long time, nor could they work their way around the book and how the book actually reads. And I saw a lot of people posting reading comprehension, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty basic, but the Spirit does have to point out things and show you things. And when you're with the right brothers, and when you're studying by yourself, you'll notice that all of a sudden you'll get hit with things, and you'll get hit with good information that you probably didn't see before, and then you want to run and tell, your other brothers and whatnot. So that's why it's good to be in the company of men who actually study the word, versus you going off on your own and trying to do something like these two brothers. Because the one brother who had his head covered, he need to get off YouTube, and I hope he see this video. And if he want to have a conversation with his big bro, he can. But bro, you don't need to be on YouTube with what you were spitting, for real, because you're not educated, you're not learned. I mean, you could say Khan is a Hebrew word, of course. I don't speak Hebrew, but okay, you're not really seasoned to be doing what you're doing. And that's it, man. That's it.
Brother Cleo, Con.
Okay, now you got jokes. All y'all got jokes. I'm just sitting back and listening. I was like, man, they slaying this dude. They cutting his head. He cut his own head off though. I mean, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna go back on mute.
I'll say that the brothers did themselves a really bad disservice, man. They did themselves a disservice because they came in with a lot of preconceived notions, and they didn't really they didn't study this stuff for themselves. It doesn't appear like they did. They kind of just came in with their preconceived notions, and they came in not even, it doesn't seem like they vetted any of the information, or if they even vetted each other. On what they knew, it didn't seem they was disagreeing with each other at certain times, and one would say one thing and then somebody would say something completely contrary to it. And what was kind of off-putting is that they didn't even seem to catch it when they were doing that. You know?
Here's what I will say though. Here's what I will say, and I've been hearing this on a couple of videos now that Salt of the Earth is going to take a more aggressive tone, and if that's going to be the case, YouTube is better look out because folks' houses is going to be set on fire. You heard it
yeah.
here first, and I'm down for the ride because I'm gonna sit back and watch whole channels get burned up. That's basically what's gonna happen, folks. If you're here for the ride.
Hey, you know, we established our footing in it, and you know, it's like, look, you know, it's time for the foolery. All that stuff got to go out the window. You know, for the sake of our viewers and those who get edified by us. If somebody feels like they have the correct thing to say to us, come, you know, our door has always been open. You know, so people doing things subliminally and things like that, you know, we're gonna put a stop to it. You know,
I'll say this, just on past, present, and future experiences. And I'm gonna say this: whoever comes through, you better have thick skin, and you better have your boots on, and you better have some Teflon drawers on, because your ass gonna get lit up. And I did say that.
Yo, brother Eric, you have something to say, bro?
No, man, I'm good. I'm glad to see everybody in the fellowship. I'm actually eating some chips right now, so forgive me for that. But I'm glad everybody joined in, and more than anything, like I said, YouTube is a public platform. We put the fair use up. And even if we don't reach out to somebody first, you know, people who put things out and say that these things are truth and the Most High's word, we have a right to critique these things. We have a right to try these things by the Spirit. And we have a right to be tried by the Spirit. So that's all I have to say. I mean, y'all pretty much laid it out. Moving forward, we're about to up the tone.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Also, brothers and sisters, tune in for the for this burn down on Christianity. You know, come get this work, the beginning of the end of Christianity. You know, we going at there next. We laying this premise out for anybody that want to get the full understanding of that, so that when you do have these conversations with anybody concerning who the Gentiles are, salvation, you know, the name, what Gentile means, you know, supersessionism, you'll have that in your arsenal, and you'll be able to combat any gainsayers, anybody who want to, you know, claim that you got camp doctrine. You can hit them off with the definition, the understanding of Gentile, Greek, Hellen, church, Jew, and you can give it to them and line things up so that when we do go into the scriptures concerning the history between the two kingdoms, all this stuff is going to fall right into place. You know, it's kind of like the brother was saying, the more and more you learn, the smaller the picture gets. You start to see everything in as one picture, and I want everybody to be able to get that understanding, so that when you read the scripture, everything falls into place. You know, and I know I don't like using these type of terms. It's a Christian term, the hermeneutics of it all. You know, everything will be in harmony. It won't be any contradictions on anything. You know, so we gonna put away the Christian understanding, and we gonna understand things according to the way our forefathers understood as Israelites. You know, but that'll be on Saturday. This upcoming Saturday, we're gonna start at 9:00 for those who are on Pacific time. Eastern time, that'll be that'll be 11:00. No, that'll be 12:00 Eastern, and that'll be 11:00 Central. All right, but we got the thumbnail up. I got to add a few things to the thumbnail. I want to hashtag a couple of people so they can tune in also on there. But right now, I just put the put it out there for everybody to check out and get ready to gear up and watch that again this upcoming Saturday. So be sure to tune in. And I want to say shalom, a blessing to everybody that came in and participated with us. All the brothers and sisters out there. Our emails. You brothers know our emails. Hold on. I didn't have it scrolling, but for those who do know our emails, you know where to send your replies and your comments are greatly appreciated. All your support is appreciated. Be sure to check in with the brother Ebri with your store. Mention your store, bro. Do a little bit of that going.
It's trueebree.com. TRUEBREE.com.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, man. Get yourself some Ebri shirts, some hats, some salt of the earth shirts. The attire is very nice. I like the effort and everything that the brother Ebri and his wife put into it is awesome. So with that being said,
thanks to everybody who went on to the site and checked it out and purchased some merchandise for themselves. Thank you for that. We appreciate that.
Indeed. Anybody else got anything to say before we close out?
I just want to say I can't wait for the return of Brother C this Wednesday. I hope everybody tune in. I'm sure it's going to be an eye opener.
Indeed. We love our people back. With that being said, I want to say shalom and blessings, family. Everybody stay walking in faith, stay walking in grace, and stay obedient to the Most High. This has been another Salt of the Earth Productions, and peace and blessings. All praise to the Most High.